Welcome to the resort snowbird and cigar haven capital of the world. Live from the Lockdown Studios in beautiful Naples, Florida, it's the Cigar Lockdown.
With your hosts, Sammy Phillips, Clay Roberts, Matt Booth, and Bill Paley. Special guest, Michael Benevente, Managing Director, Accutron. The extremely talented and funny Angelo Tsaroukas. Celebrity chef Nicole and our good friends, Rocky Patel, President and CEO of Rocky Patel Premium Cigars, Corey Bappert from Oliva Cigar Company, world-renowned best-selling author Aaron Sigmund, and don't forget the big prize pool, of course, and much more.
Now grab those cigars and cocktails and strap in for this wild ride. Without further ado, here's Sammy and Clay.
Welcome, everybody.
We're back, baby.
Lockdown 2.1.
Technology has all been repaired. There's no storms out tonight.
Oh, my God.
There's a storm in your mind.
There's a storm everywhere. My goodness gracious. I am so happy to be back with my brother, Clay Roberts.
And my brother, Sammy Phillips. Welcome, welcome.
We're back, baby.
What do we have special tonight?
You know what? Full disclaimer. Some things went haywire on the last show. We can't control the weather. Tonight, we're looking pretty good. It's up to the guy upstairs. And Clay and I are going to get right into this. We've got another $5,000 in prizes. We are joined by everybody and some others that you saw on the last lockdown. Angelo Tsaroukas is back. Michael Benevente is back.
Aaron Sigmund is back. Rocky Patel, Corey Bappert, Matt Booth from Room 101. And who am I forgetting in here?
Bill Paley.
Oh, Bill Paley. Don't forget Bill.
And don't forget about us.
And don't forget about you.
Well, I'm here.
How you feeling tonight?
Dude, I feel great. I
What are you
really do.
What are you smoking on over there?
I'm smoking on a La Palina Classic Connecticut. Brand new packaging. Same great blend.
Ooh, lovely. I'm having a beautiful silver label, which will be out later this year for everybody in many, many sizes. Very full body, just like me.
Matter of fact, Clay, that cigar should be out for the general population the next 3 weeks.
Ooh.
That was a TAA exclusive, and that cigar is so good, man.
Yeah, this is meatier than your tongue.
So let's talk about this beautiful baby here. Everybody's got their raffle tickets. All of your raffle tickets that you previously had are still 100% valid. Clay and I made an additional 500 packs along with Oliva and Rocky Patel and, of course, Room 101 and
That's right.
La Palina. So it was an extra 500 packs. Those tickets all go into the great prize pool later
The
tonight.
Blythe Pool.
The prize pool.
The Blythe Pool.
With Lucky Luca.
Right.
It's fantastic.
So, again, regardless of the dates that are on those tickets, they are valid tonight for our $5,000 in beautiful prizes.
That's right. All they got to do is take a picture of their ticket, go to the website, right? Within
Yes.
48 hours, we'll have all the winners posted.
Just like we did last time. We did
Yep.
post all the winners last time.
Exactly.
And there's, again, another $5,000 in prizes tonight, which some of you lucky people will enjoy.
Yeah, and all of you guys out there, look below. You'll see our phone number throughout the show. Text Clay, text me. We've got the same phone number. Ooh, baby, same phone number. We share everything.
Ooh.
So, send us some great questions. We've got some great quests.
Quest?
We've got some
What's going on
great-
with you tonight?
we've
You're
got-
tongue-tied. It's rare that you're tongue-tied.
I know, it's crazy. We've got some great guests tonight, and they would love to have questions from all of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got some wonderful cigars here in this pack. Let's break right into this bad baby, because we're going to be smoking these all night long, right?
Well, we'll smoke some of them. This silver label I'm smoking all night.
Ooh, I
That box
love
is
it.
mine. Don't touch it.
I'm taking it all.
What do you got there?
We've got all these fine cigars from Oliva Cigar Company. We've got one of them is the Cigar of the Year from Cigar Aficionado, the
That's right.
Melanio.
Lovely.
Fantastic cigar from our boy Corey Bapp. We've got two Room 101s, which one of them is a Gordo. Fantastic big paybacks. We've got three La Palinas. We've got the red label right over here.
Silver label, which I'm smoking right now.
The silver, which Clay is smoking. And, of course, we have the El Año.
Ooh,
and then
El
we've got
Año.
10 cigars from our brother, if I can get him out of here, Rocky Patel.
Get Rocky out of there.
Rocky, get out of there, boy. We've got the 50, the 50th. This cigar retails for over $20, like $22, $23 stick. 15th anniversary Royale Special Edition. And then on the flip side, we've got Tsaroukas, who is Amilcar Perez Carrillo, Rocky's business partner, and really an extraordinary blender. and cigar maker. The 55, the vintage San Andreas, and, of course, the new Old World Reserve, Maduro. Fantastic, fantastic cigars here.
Yeah.
We've also got the Rocky Patel Sun-Grown, highly rated cigar, Ecuadorian Sun-Grown Sumatra wrapper, and the number 6, one of my personal favorites that Maritza and Rocky worked on at the factory level. So, guys, we couldn't be happier, guys and gals, we couldn't be happier to be here with you again with no weather issues. Knock on wood. So far, so good. And joined by a cast of characters second to none, man.
That's right. The show is here, and it evolves and gets better as we go along.
That's right, my brother.
Like a fine wine and like you.
And remember, we're here to support brick-and-mortar retail.
That's right.
All throughout North America. We love these people. We miss these people. We just saw that a couple more events were canceled. We are going to miss the Drapers boys, John, Matt, Teddy. We're going to miss you guys, man. We love being on that rooftop.
Yeah.
And, who the heck knows what's going to happen. We still have Big Smoke in Vegas that's still slotted. We'll see what happens with COVID. We still have Cigar Fest that's slotted. Josh Hannon and the rest of those guys, that's a fun event.
I have A1, which is up in Idaho, State Line, Idaho, right near Spokane, Booth's hometown.
Yep.
I think on the 24th of August. That is an outdoor multi-vendor that
Fingers crossed, man.
Fingers crossed. It's scheduled right now. They said we will all be socially distanced, which is great for me.
It certainly is.
I should be about 90 feet from everybody.
You're going to wear your special mask?
Yes.
Yeah.
Has your picture on it.
That damn right it does.
But, on that note, we have somebody we always like to go to here on the show. He's one of our family of characters here on the Cigar Lockdown.
The doctor.
The doctor is in. So let's have a little word from the doctor.
Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Howie Feltersnatch, grandson of the great Dr. Woody Feltersnatch, offering a prescription for the comprehensive enjoyment of tonight's Lockdown Prize Pool show. Find a comfy place to sit. Obtain the beverage of your liking. Light up a cigar if you wish. Relax and enjoy the ride. Besides an array of amazing guests like Angelo Tsaroukas and Michael Benevente, we have the prize pool drawing for over $5,000 in prizes. Oh my, this is more than I earned in 1934. Now, have your tickets ready. All good things come to those who wait. And don't forget, keep safe, wash your hands often, don't touch your face, and always feel love in your loins. Now back to Clay and Sammy.
The doctor is in.
I love Dr. Howie.
Dr. Howie is the best.
I mean, come on.
We have a lot of requests for Dr. Howie.
Dr. Howie is a big success in his own right, but here on
in
the
his
Lockdown,
own mind.
In his own mind,
Yeah,
for sure.
like the rest of us.
Rattling around more than you and I, which is something to be said.
A couple of idiots.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, boy.
But listen to Dr. Howie. Wash your hands. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
Scrub them real good for 20 seconds. I don't even know what the heck that was.
I don't know. It's all crazy here. It's a lockdown. We like it crazy, Sammy.
You know what? We're here. We're having a good time. And a lot of people have said to Clay and I, well, wait a minute, the lockdown is over. But as you will see, the lockdown isn't over for a lot of places. New York has just opened up here in late July. I know that L.A. is just opening up as well, late July.
Yeah, having some issues, but there's sporadic openings.
Right. I know in New York we just opened up, and I think that New York is opening up, and they're going to 3 work days a week. And
Yeah, something
I think
in that.
40 or 50% capacity of the workforce. We know that a lot of people are still hurting out there. And whoever you are and whatever you're going through, this is what the lockdown is all about. Forget about all of the
Michigas.
the nonsense
craziness.
that's going on in the world. Sit back, have a cocktail, eat some great food, and laugh at the two of us
That's what most people do.
all the time without the show.
Yeah, but that's okay. And again, the lockdown is not necessarily about being locked down. It's about being locked down with 2 crackpots. And they're sitting right here.
Who better than us?
Well, nobody. I'm doing that, being crackpots.
And don't forget to text us. Text Clay some questions. Text me some questions. We're not looking for softballs. Throw us the hard balls. We want to answer anything. If you want to have any questions, you'll see on the table here in front of me, I've got the wrapper, the binder, and the filler of a blend that Clay and I are working on. We've got some sample blends down here and a unique size that we're working on. And we love what we do. We're having a great time. We love the premium cigar category.
Yeah.
And I just want to give a shout out real quick to everybody that's out there that we really miss. And I know that we've said this before, but we miss seeing these guys on the road. John Carney, we miss you. Juan Lopez, we miss you. And the cast of characters goes on and on and on.
Yeah, again, as we always say, it's our cigar family, and then it's our consumer family and our retailer family. A1, which I mentioned earlier, up in near Spokane, State Line, Idaho, I'm usually there 3 times a year, and I have not been there once this year. So that's the first event, really, I've had this year since all this craziness started. So, again, fingers crossed, I'll be up there in Spokane.
How are you doing with everybody has asked me this, so please don't text this question, guys. We know that Clay flies almost more than anybody that we know. How's it been for you, to be grounded?
Well, it's been an exercise of mediocrity, which is my life anyway. Not having flown now, I think we're at 60 days. I flew more when my mom was pregnant with me than I have now. I have not now. Whatever's going on, I don't know. You know what? It's actually been kind of nice to kind of have a respite, but I can smell those jet fumes.
Habibi.
Yes.
Let's do a little cheers. Cheers to you. I love you. For me,
Cheers.
Selfishly, it's been wonderful having you around.
No, that's not what I heard.
No, that's true. I'm telling you the truth.
Thank you
It's
very
been
much.
Wonderful having you around. We miss Bill. We miss Matt. We had a lot of things planned with these guys. All our brick and
they'll be
mortar
here soon.
family. We had a lot of great things set up for this year. And you know what? I think it's a time to reflect because certain things are just out of our control.
Out of our control.
Right, just like the weather on the last lockdowns, out of our control. Nothing we can do about it.
So cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers, my brother.
Cheers to you, everybody out there in Cigar Lockdown
Cheers,
land.
everybody.
So let's talk about this Accutron
Let
business.
me take a little sip first.
I'm looking at that Accutron book over. It's looking at me. It's trying to ruin my credit.
Absolutely. Let me pull this book in here for
Oh,
just
pull
a
it
moment.
in.
My God. I'm trying to hide my fat at the same time while moving. This book that I've got right here is we are officially, and I know that everybody who tuned in to Lockdown 2, and this is Lockdown 2.1 because of the issues that we had, everybody who tuned into the first show has seen Michael Benevente or in sporadic moments of Michael Benevente, who's the national director of Bulova and Accutron. He also works with brands like Constantine, Alpina. They've got a wonderful, wonderful set of watches that I shouldn't even call them watches. They're really timepieces, jewelry pieces.
Yeah.
And they've got watches that are $300, and I think they've got watches that are upwards of $45,000, depending on what you're looking at. Beautiful entry pieces. And Accutron, which was an incredible watch company over the last 60 years, is being relaunched. And this is the official book. And we're going to talk a little bit about that here. But without further ado, let's see what Accutron
Let's see what
has
they're
to
up
offer,
to.
right?
Yeah, let's take a look, everybody.
Check it out.
Michael Benevente.
Clay, we are joined by none other than our dear friend and partner, Michael Benevente from Bulova Accutron.
How are you, Michael?
Hey,
How are you
guys.
today?
Good to see you.
Michael,
as always.
good to see you back in the office, my friend.
Yes.
Thank you for staying
It's
late,
good to
by the
be
way.
here.
We know it's been a long work day.
Thank you, Clay. No worries for you guys, anything. I'm happy to be here. Always like to speak about cigars and watches and whiskey and whatever other vices we have today.
Absolutely. Well, I've got a couple of vices I'm working on right now, Michael. I know that you're a wine drinker, so I'll do that.
Yes.
I'll do that on both our behalves.
And I'm having a little monkey shoulder, so I'm very happy.
Okay, very nice.
Very nice.
So
Absolutely.
you're back. You're back in the office at the Empire State Building, right?
Yep, back at the office Empire State Building. This is our first week back during phase 2 for New York City, and we're here 3 days a week for now.
I love it.
How does it feel?
Family's happy you're out of the house?
Everybody's happy. I mean, no, it's. I mean, listen, for 4 months we were doing the Ring Central and Zoom and all that stuff, which is fine. But there's really nothing like the face-to-face communication. It's
absolutely
much easier.
So, Michael, let's get right into it, man.
Oh,
This is like one of the first official launches here of Accutron watches, the resurgence of Accutron into the marketplace.
Very exciting.
Super exciting. This is our 60th anniversary. So this relaunch really is marked by the 60th year of Accutron being in existence. And we're really counting down now. We're getting to towards the end of August when we'll start shipping our first watches. So a lot of prep work happening as we speak.
Awesome. And how is that? How has COVID affected everything? I know that Basel has been canceled. All of our major events. The Big Smoke had been canceled earlier
Texas
in the
Cigar
year.
Festival.
Texas Cigar Festival, Cigar Fest. I mean, everything that we count on every year to connect with our friends, much like you do. How has that affected the Accutron launch?
Definitely, it definitely delayed things a bit and slowed us down a little bit. I mean, Basel, as you mentioned, was canceled, which was a big moment. The Couture show, which is in Vegas, was also canceled. So those were two big events for us to kind of finalize things. But we actually we took a proactive stance from March on. And we did a lot of the Zoom. We did a lot of the. We did probably over 70 Zoom presentations for Accutron with all various independent brick and mortar people throughout the country.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to say that we were able to really get a lot accomplished that way.
Very cool, man. Well, I've got the beautiful Accutron from the space age to the digital age book right here. I love this book. It's fantastic. And I know that if you buy this book, there's a special edition. You buy the book, you also get a beautiful cigar case, tone on tone, and you get a beautiful Accutron cutter, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Actually, we were just chatting with Gail, who you met when we were in Los Angeles together, who is our marketing VP, and we were just finalizing that yesterday. So the book, the cutter, the case, which you all were very helpful in putting all together for us on the cutter and the case. So fantastic.
So I know that you partnered with a few people when we talk about old America, old American history, heritage brands more appropriately, like La Polina, which is in its 125th year. And then I'm going to mess up the name, Edelbrook. Did I say that right for the pens?
Estabrook.
Estabrook.
Yep, Estabrook.
I'm the VP of the company, or the president of the company. Fantastic guy. Amazing writing utensils, and we'll put the website down here in the lower third. And then, of course, Hudson, which is a wonderful spirits company. We've got a Hudson Baby Bourbon, Hudson Single Malt, Hudson 4-Grain that Clay was drinking just a moment ago on the show, which he loves, and I know that you're a bourbon fan as well.
Yes.
But I want to talk a little bit about the Accutron cigar, which I know you can't smoke because you're in the wonderful state of New York with the Pleasure Police. You could smoke at Paley Park, but not inside the Empire State Building.
I'd be arrested. I'd sooner murder someone than do that.
Ooh, the night is early. So Clay, let me hand this over to you. If you could grab that, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
So the Accutron cigar, manufactured with our sister company here in Little Havana, Miami, at El Titan de Bronze, Nicaraguan, Honduran, and Dominican. Beautiful, beautiful cigar. And I think, Michael, when you and Jeffrey, who are your, I guess he's the big boss, right?
He's my boss. Yep.
He's the big guy. So when you guys are avid cigar smokers, and when you said, "Hey, Sammy, we want the cigar to be like this," or not be like this. We wanted to make something that was hyper approachable for a first-time smoker or for somebody like yourself and like Jeffrey that are true cigar aficionados. I think we knocked it out of the park, right?
You really did, and it's funny. 2 days ago, I had a couple from the event from January, which I had thrown in my humidor, and I gave one to a friend of mine, and he hadn't smoked it right away. He called me up the other day, and he's like, "Holy crap!" He goes, "I just had that Accutron blended." He goes, "That's a beautiful, beautiful cigar," and he's a cigar aficionado as well. So that really made me happy. And I love it. It's really become one of my favorite cigars as well.
Yeah, where do we get this, Sammy? I'm going to buy a box right now because you won't give me one.
Well, I'll tell you what. As soon as Michael gives us the thumbs up, there's going to be select retail outlets throughout the country that are going to carry the Accutron cigar. It's a hyper-limited production, and
Delicious.
Michael's the big boss as far as this is concerned.
Oh, we know.
We're going to follow his lead. But I love this cigar. It's creamy, it's buttery, it's well-rounded, it's complex, and very complex, just like Bulova watches, baby.
Oh, I love them.
Speaking about watches, let me put this down for just a second. Michael, I know that you're a true old watch aficionado. I am rocking a vintage Patek Philippe from the 1930s.
Beautiful.
And I'm not good with all the watch specifications. I'm a bit of a nerd, but not a geek. So I don't know all the specifications, but I think it's a beautiful, beautiful timepiece. But I've got to tell you, for me, this is one of my favorite timepieces, and I wear it on the regular. My Bulova Sutton, which is this piece right here, man, that you gifted me when we were at the Grammys. Kind of dipping our toe in the water with what was to come with Accutron and meeting your people. I love this watch.
That's a beautiful watch.
This watch is $500, Clay.
Ooh, it's my bar tab on Amtrak.
You'll be busy tonight, boy.
I'll be busy.
Is Amtrak still running?
We're not sure, but I'm going.
They are running.
But I got to tell you, Michael, I absolutely, positively love this timepiece.
That's nice.
I love what you guys are doing, and I'm super. I can't wait to get my own Accutron timepiece. Couldn't be more excited about that, man. So I know that when before the Grammys and before all the great stuff that you guys put on every year with the artists, we met. And the designers, I think I might be screwing this up, but the designers of the watch said the electrostatic movement, if I'm getting that correct, the electrostatic movement, you put it on, you put the watch on, you set the watch, and you could take the watch off and set it down, and a year later, it would tell the same exact time, once the watch is fully charged from wearing it.
No, not exactly. You can put the watch down. It goes into sleep mode, so it'll conserve energy. It won't expend any energy. You'll pick it up, and you won't need to worry about winding it or doing any of that. You will have to set the time at that point if you put it down for that length of time. But the amazing thing about the movement, it was over 10 years in development, is the first time electrostatic energy is actually being used to power a watch. So that's never been done before. So it's a brand new technology, brand new movement. Theoretically, I say theoretically only because we're still testing. The testing has been pretty great and accurate. We're feeling today that watch can have energy for up to almost 9 years without really.
Seriously?
Yeah. If you wear the watch,
it's incredible.
That's incredible.
If you wear the watch on a regular basis, and I'm saying not every day even, but 3 or 4 times in a week, let's say, that watch is basically maintenance free up to 9 years. And 9 years, what'll happen is the energy is stored in the capacitor. There's a capacitor inside that stores the electrostatic energy. That would probably need to get changed after about 9 years. But it's the first time that electrostatic energy has ever been used to power a watch.
Yeah.
So that's the really cool.
And so much like you guys redefining the industry with Accutron in its early days, you're redefining the industry again.
Once again, yeah, 60 years later, and on our 60th birthday, so to speak. But this movement was in development for over 10 years. Our Miyota movement manufacturing arm in Japan is a Japanese engineering. So for those of you who know Japanese engineering, you know how meticulous and amazing those guys can be in Japan when it comes to things like this. And they really knocked it out of the park.
Michael, how did you get into the watch business?
Like by accident, purely by accident. And here I am almost 30 years later, still by accident. But I was a watch buyer at Macy's, and it was my first job out of school. I went to the executive training program at Macy's, and I ended up. Macy's was very good back then. You'd move through the company, pretty regularly. Every 18 months, you'd have a new job.
Yeah.
And so I started in the store line, what they would call store line, and then I went to buying line, and buying line happened to be watches. And so that's how I ended up in the watch business. I went to work after Macy's. I went to work for Movado Group, which is a big watch, big watch group.
Yeah, sure.
And then Swatch Group. After that, I did almost 9 years at the Swatch Group. I worked on the Longines brand, and we had chatted, Clay, a while back about Glacute.
Yes,
I know you were a Lange fan, so
I got it on
learned.
now.
All right, beautiful.
But
I mean, I've been to Glacute. I never went to Lange because obviously I worked for the competitor. They're literally across the street from each other.
Yes.
If you've been. And it's an amazing. Both facilities are amazing. I have a friend of mine that did work at Lange, so he explained to me what was going on there. And Glacute was crazy. And then after that, Gucci. I was at Gucci for 12 years,
amazing.
Watches and jewelry. And now Bulova for 5 years. This is my 5th year anniversary. I can't believe it's been 5 years already.
Amazing.
But very fortunate.
Yeah.
What's it like when you guys are traveling and visiting brick and mortar stores? Is it similar to what we deal with in the premium category, where there's dinners, lots of business discussion, and then parties and stuff like that?
There's a lot of that. I mean, there's a lot of especially when you're dealing with brick and mortar in the watch and jewelry world. It's independent owned still. It's family businesses.
Yep.
It's very similar because I know, and speaking with you guys on and off over the last several months, it mirrors really that. And I really appreciate, the brick and mortar, support that you've all been giving on the website and on previous shows. And I couldn't echo that more for our side of the business as well. It's still the backbone of the industry.
Absolutely. I mean, for us, the optics are really simple. The brick and mortar is the backbone of our industry. It's the backbone of your industry. And right now, with people not being able to travel and go and visit stores, and I think it's opening up more and more now, thank God. But, I mean, for months and months, these people have been just taking it on the chin. It's been really tough for everybody. So great to see you back in the office. Great to see everything finally starting to turn around a little bit.
Although I have to tell you, New York City, though, still, it's pretty eerie, I have to say. Reporting in from New York, I can tell you, it's Grand. I mean, I take the train into Grand Central, and then I walk from Grand Central to the Empire State Building, but it's pretty quiet.
Is the food court in Grand Central, that amazing food court, not open?
Closed.
That's your favorite little
closed.
pizza store. You love that little pizza shop.
There's all kinds of great food in there.
The Oyster Bar, I'm sure you,
Oyster
Clay,
Bar.
I could see you at the Oyster Bar.
Oh, that's not the only bar I'm at, but that Oyster Bar really is it's like going back in time, Michael.
Yes, it's closed. It's all closed. I mean, I think the only thing open in there is there's a little Walgreens that's off the side there.
Yeah,
I think that was open. That's about it. So the city's still very quiet, and restaurants many of them are closed, and I don't know how many are going to reopen.
We're seeing a lot of that down
of it
here in Naples. I know that Clay's been seeing that in L.A. as he travels back and forth from here to L.A. It's a complicated time for all of us. The world is hurting.
Listen, Mike, we've got a couple of questions for you from our consumers out in the world. This is from Daisy at Cigar Daddies in Lacey, Washington. Sammy, I'll let you take this question. It's right up your alley.
Yeah, I'm reading it now. So, Michael, the question says, there's a lot of trading of older vintage watches going on in the world today, and they know that Bulova has its own store, so you're in that market. How do you feel about the trading of vintage watches and just people wearing watches again in general?
I love it. I love the fact that older brands are being rediscovered, by younger generations. I could definitely say that Bulova and Accutron are two brands that have experienced a renaissance because of the interest in. It's funny. The generation seems to always skip one, right? So
Yeah.
kids today don't really care about what their parents, had. It's more about what their grandparents had, so that bodes well for all of those brands that were from, 50, 60, 70 years ago, what was relevant then. So it's great. It's great for the old brands. I think it's great for the younger generations to learn, about that. And it's been great for the industry.
Well, the watches for me, they're works of art, and so you're really wearing a piece of art on your wrist, and hopefully it tells time correctly twice a day. And but other than that, it's just
But Clay's here all weekend.
I'll be at the Ha Ha Hole in Halifax with Angelo later tonight. But yeah. So here we have another question, Michael. This is from Dave at Tinderbox Waldorf. Oh, Raj. They said, love the watches, love Bulova. I own one. Where is your favorite place to eat when open in New York City?
Ooh, boy, oh boy.
Curveball question.
No, that's a great question. It's just
well, he's wearing a Bulova, so he's got a good lead.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, and I've had many a meal there in several of the different locations. I'm gonna say my friends at Cipriani. I'm gonna give Cipriani.
Baby.
Oh, I love Cipriani.
Oh, that place is so delicious.
They're great people. He rocks a very nice watch.
Oh, they all those guys. I mean, they're all Italians, obviously, and so Italians and Europeans have a very good sense of style, of course, but also appreciate a fine timepiece. I mean, I would say they've always appreciated a fine timepiece, maybe more so even than Americans had, going back in time a bit.
Well, I mean, as a part of the C-suite of Citizen Watch Group, you've got Bulova, you have now you have Accutron, you've got Vacheron Constantin, right? Did I mess that up?
Frederic Constant. We have Frederic Constant, Alpina.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you find yourself gravitating towards when you put a watch on?
Well, I wear Bulova and Accutron watches. I mean, I lead those two brands in addition to also Caravel and some of the other a little bit lower price brands that we have. But I can appreciate certainly all of the Citizen. I mean, Citizen has some amazing watches. I mean, their Citizen ProMaster. I mean, I've said for the last many years in this industry is probably the best dive watch that you can get for the money. I mean, it's a great value, but a great machine. So, I mean, I really look at each brand has a very unique, a value proposition, within it. Frederic Constant is beautiful. I mean, they make a world timer. We're just talking about the world time, pointing because it's over there. The world timer is, I think it's $4,500. It's one of the. It's an incredible machine for under $5,000. It's probably one of the best values of the Frederic Constant.
Yeah, they're
world
beautiful
timer.
timepieces.
Value premium at its best.
Alpina, which is a little known brand, and we're starting to put some energy and money behind it now. But Alpina makes fantastic Swiss-made sport watches under $1,000. They make a connected watch that'll rival anything that's out there right now, made in Switzerland. So connected smartwatch made in Switzerland. So really, there's some really fun things happening out there in the watch industry.
What would you say to somebody who's ready to make their first watch purchase? They're ready to buy a Bulova. They're ready to buy an Accutron. What do they need to know?
I think lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle do they lead, right? So that's really the first question to ask is, are you an active person? Are you a classic person? I think you kind of figure that out. And then you go for what you like. You go for what you like. I mean, when you're in brands like Bulova, let's say, you're going to get value. I mean, I think that's the secret sauce for Bulova. We try to give a lot of value for money and a quality machine, let's call it. Yeah. If you're looking at Accutron, again, I would say to you, the electrostatic movement, which again is one of a kind, you're not going to find it anywhere else. That's under $4,000. It's a really, to Clay's point, a piece of art, a piece of engineering, technology. and for the value, because we know there are a lot of other watches out there that have, very well-known names, and they don't start till about $6,000 today. So it really, you have to decide as a consumer, like all the other categories of things that we buy, where you at, mentally, let's say.
Sure.
If you need someone to know what watch you're wearing, and that's important to you, and it's a Rolex Daytona, and you want everybody to know that that's what it is, then Accutron's probably not for you. But if and again, I'm not trying to tell people not to buy Accutron, but
Right.
if you don't really care and you really like what you like and don't really mind if someone knows what it is or doesn't know what it is, then Accutron, is probably a really great brand to look at.
I tell you, for me personally, and I know that we've spoken about this privately before. Of course, Clay's rocking the Lange. I have a vintage Breitling Navitimer. I've got an Hublot Big Bang. What I find myself wearing over and over and over again, I have a Weiler. I find myself over and over and over again picking up this Bull of a Sutton that I'm wearing, and I'm not blowing smoke proverbially up your rear end. But one thing that I find is people saying to me, "What are you wearing? What are you wearing right now? What is that watch?" And I say, "It's a Bull of a Sutton." They say, "That's a Bulova?" I said, "Absolutely." I said, "And you can get this timepiece for around $500. So whatever you guys are doing, you're certainly doing it the right way."
Yeah.
And I love this piece, and thank you so much for gifting it to me. Ooh, baby.
Let me ask you guys a question. I want to take the interview spot.
Please.
Oh.
So in cigars, right? Because we'll equate it to cigars, right? So a Monte Cristo Cohiba Cuba. Okay, everybody knows what that is. You're smoking it, and everybody says, "Oh, look at this guy, Sam Clay. They're big shots. They have Cohibas and Monte Cristo."
Oh, you're special.
But what if we don't care about that, right? So what would be your smoke? I mean, what do you really truly enjoy? And you don't really give it, that anybody knows what it is. Does that make sense? My question,
absolutely.
It's a great question. Clay, you want to lead
Well,
on
sure,
it, and then
sure,
I'll
because
follow up.
Something always comes to mind. I've mentioned before in other shows is that the cigar you're smoking is not necessarily the best cigar. It's the people you're with, and it really does make the time special. Or it might just be by yourself on your patio or wherever you are, just having peaceful time. So it's not necessarily, again, the cigar. It's the best cigar you probably ever smoked is the people you're with or the location you're at. And the worst cigar you ever smoked is sitting next to an asshole.
Yes.
So these are all personal preferences.
Are you telling me that you don't like your cigar because you're sitting next to me?
Well, basically. I love my cigar, and I love that watch. But you,
So for me, Michael, it's a little bit different. While I connect with who you're with and where you are, for me, it's about what I've had to drink, what I am
Yes.
drinking, what I'm eating. If I'm having a big ribeye, I typically go for a bigger, bolder cigar. My favorite cigar, my everyday driver for me is probably the La Polina Red Label if it's a special occasion. The Goldie, if I'm outside of the La Polina family, Rocky Patel Decades, one of my favorites. Alec Bradley Prensado is one of my favorites. The Oliva, the Melanio, I think is
Melanio's a great stick.
fantastic cigar. And not just because we're working with these guys right now. I also like some of the Room 101 products, the Farce and the Big Payback. And I could go on and on and on. But for me, it really is about what I'm drinking, where I am, right? Because I don't want to be outside if it's 97 degrees. I'm not going to go for a big, bold cigar. I want something lighter. Just like if I drink rosé, if we're sitting outside schwitzing at a restaurant outside. But yeah, that's what it's all about for me. And I steward, I think the way that you would steward and bringing somebody into one of your brands, right? Guiding somebody to take the next step to an Accutron. I do the same thing with cigars, and I know that Clay does the same thing. I feel like it's my job to protect this smaller boutique industry.
It's true.
So if I've got somebody and I know that they're an occasional cigar smoker, maybe they smoke 2 or 3 cigars, 4 cigars a year. I treat that guy totally differently. He's going to get more of my time than the guy who really is an avid cigar smoker. That guy knows what he likes, and maybe he gives me a brand, and I say, hey, brand X is a great brand, and I smoke this in brand X, but let me guide you over to this. And if I don't have something in our portfolio, it's okay, because that guy's a cigar smoker, just like somebody who's wearing a fine timepiece.
Right.
Because a lot of these kids, like you had said in private conversations before, they pick up their cell phone. They have the time. So it is a statement piece.
Nobody needs a watch. I mean, that's. I mean, no one needs a watch. I mean, per se, to tell time today. I mean, there's 20 devices within arm's reach of you that will tell you time. I mean, people choose to wear a watch today because it has a lot of other. There's a lot of other reasons for it, but not because you need to tell time. The days of utilitarian, use is long gone.
He's got the fancy words. I love it.
Whoa, I like it too.
See what happens when I'm not drinking yet. The words come out. If you would have caught me a little bit later, I mean, I don't know if utilitarian comes out at that moment.
Clay said the same thing to me. He's like, "You need a drink," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You need to dumb it down. Have a drink, man."
Yeah, he was all tensed up.
Well, Michael, thank you, dude. Thank you so much, my friend, for joining us. We really appreciate your time. We know it's valuable. You look great. You're joining us from the museum, which is just wild. I can see over your left-hand shoulder the Accutron timepiece there, and I also see equal time for equal pay. And I know that Bull of Us spearheaded equal time for equal pay before it was even a thing, right?
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I don't. Are you seeing that?
Yeah,
guys?
man.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. So there's some of the vintage stuff. I know that you're Mr. Fancy Pants and you have the Paddock Philippe. But,
Ooh, Clay's talking about you, I think.
Do you take Diners Club?
Does Diners Club still exist?
It does for you.
He's got a gift card. He's coming in hot.
Oh, he's good. All right, guys. Well, thank you
Awesome.
so much. I
Thank
really
you, Michael.
appreciate you having me on the show. And
It's our
anytime
pleasure.
you need a comedic relief, just call me. I'd be happy to come.
We will, man.
and
I
have
can't
some
wait.
things.
I can't wait to get my fat ass on a plane, fly up, see you, break bread, and be together once again, man.
Same here. Same here. Let's hope those times come soon.
Thank you, Michael.
I'm knocking on wood, my friend. I'm knocking on wood. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for your time, and we will see you very, very soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Clay.
Bye-bye now.
Be well.
All right, peace.
Be well.
He's the best.
I mean, unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
I think that when we first had started talking about doing a show like this, and we talked about who we would have on the show, of course, Michael's name came up. Nobody knew about the partnership until the first version, the Cigar Lockdown 2.0. This is Cigar Lockdown version 2.1.
Yeah, we're all over the place, but it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
It's all for brick and mortar and our consumer friends and family.
But how important is it for our viewers to understand that we are not the only industry that is going through these turbulent
It's everybody.
times? It's everybody.
Yeah.
When you think about something as powerful as watches, whether it's Bullifa, whether it's Accutron, whether it's Constantine, whether it's Alpina. I mean, these are massive brands.
Yeah.
And they're going through the same shit that we're going through right now.
Yeah, and I think everyone's trying to reinvent themselves, and obviously the Lockdown show here is something we created to reinvent what we do and obviously bring a little levity to the world. What is the Accutron podcast you were talking about?
Right. So much like the Cigar Lockdown show, the Lockdown show, whatever we're calling this at this point, well, because people have said to us, "Well, we're not really locked down anymore." I think it's very important for everybody to understand. These people it's July 23rd today.
Yeah.
These people are just getting back into their offices.
Yeah.
So, and Michael had said before we went live that they're at like 40% capacity.
Yeah.
They can only be in the office 3 days a week. And so wherever you are in the world, understand that this is a global issue. This is not a North American issue. It's a global issue. The world is suffering. And, we're just trying to do a little bit of good. That's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
I think you asked me a question, and I totally
One
lost
of the
it.
the
Accutron. So, yes. So,
Accupon.
the Accupon.
Well, that has a little something to do with the Monkey Shoulder, Hudson, and the Glenfiddich. I've been drinking all day.
It's my favorite, baby. It's the Accupon.
Baby, I'm high.
It's the Accutron coupon.
Yeah. Well, what is the Accutron podcast?
The Accutron podcast is really not even a podcast. It's called the Accutron Show. And the host of that show is a guy who's an old news hat. His name is Bill McCuddy. Really, really bright guy, fun guy. And he's got a couple of characters, another gentleman named Scott, and then there's another guy who's on the show as well. But it's about American heritage brands, and it's about just really about old American heritage and just subject matter that they're into, and there is a show, and this is going to be the first time that anybody's ever played this clip, Clay. I don't think it's ever been played publicly before. So without further ado, This is a sneak peek right here on the Lockdown at the Accutron show. Enjoy, everybody.
Let's take a look.
The Accutron Show. Accutron. It's not a timepiece. It's a conversation piece. With your host, Bill McCuddy, and contributors Scott Alexander and David Graver.
The sudden expansion of gases, the expplosion, just blew the doors open. Glass rained down on us, and we came walking around the corner and looked up, and there were like 30-foot flames coming out of the cupolas.
The voice you heard at the top of the show was today's guest, founder of Tuttletown Spirits, home of Hudson Whiskey, Ralph Arenzo. He's here to talk about how opening the first New York distillery since Prohibition has changed the game, and he brought a little something for us to try. But first, it's me, Bill McCuddy, along with culture writer Scott Alexander and editor David Graver. We're discussing the evolution of whiskey culture in America and the rise of niche distilleries. All that and more on this episode of The Accutron Show. Stay tuned.
The world runs on Accutron time. Accutron watches since 1960, from New York City to around the world.
Welcome back to the Accutron Show. We are joined by Sam Phillips. He's the president of La Polina Cigar. Sam, welcome to the podcast, and what'd you bring to smoke?
Gentlemen, happy to be here. We can smoke anything you want. I actually have about 14 bundles with me.
You know, we've been talking before you got here about how you can't smoke as many places as you used to be able to, but La Polina and the Paley family have given the city of New York, and we can brag to people listening outside of this zip code, we have a park called Paley Park. Explain the background of that thing.
Indeed. So there is a park donated here by the Paleys. You have the Paley Center for the Arts here as well. And if you go down to the Carnegie Club and grab yourself a La Polina, you can walk right down to the park. And I believe it is the only place that you can smoke in New York, open air.
Yep. Very cool. I mean, I don't know. What did I just watch?
I got to tell you, I'm blown away, man. I mean, look, if you look at, first of all, Michael Benevente.
Yeah.
Right? Incredible.
Very cool guy.
What a guy. What a career.
So friendly, too.
The best.
Yeah.
That's why we partnered with him. I could tell everybody that the Accutron cigar is a fantastic cigar. It's a special cigar. It's one of those cigars reminiscent of the old Cubans where if you're a novice, you can smoke it. If you're just getting into cigars, or if you're a true cigar aficionado. We make that cigar at our sister factory, El Titan de Bronze in Little Havana, Miami. It's creamy. It's buttery. It's smooth. It's elegant. It's well-balanced. At the same time, it's very complex.
Yeah, nice stick.
Very proud of that cigar. Very, very thankful that Michael Benevente and Jeffrey of Citizen Watch Group, Boulevard and Accutron gave us the opportunity to be their partners.
Well, they also gave us a little gift to give away tonight during the prize pool.
They sure did, my brother.
Another Boulevard watch.
Yeah, I mean, where else are you going to go? You're winning watches. You're winning
my
cigars.
God.
You're winning all this good
all
stuff.
These great things.
It's fantastic.
What else is going on
I
tonight?
love it. Well, you know what, Clay? We're getting ready to make the next move here.
What's the next move?
Cigar Lockdown 2.1. Who are we going to be joined with? We've got Rocky Patel coming up from the ranch in Montana. We've got Bill Paley, a special message from Bill Paley from his crib in McLean, Virginia.
Yes.
Right?
That's where he is.
Did I screw it up? Did I get it right?
You're right there, boy.
We got our boy Corey Bappert, who's got a message from Oliva Cigar Company. And, of course, Matt Booth from Room 101 Brands.
God knows what's going to come out of his mouth.
You never know.
You never know.
Depending on if Boothie's in a good mood or not.
Well, he's always in a good mood.
Pretty much.
He has his afternoons.
You're right. You're right. Most of the time he is.
But let's go and see our friends, and they have a special message for all of you.
Let's check it out.
Hello there, Cigar Buckaroos. It's Bill Paley of La Polina Cigars. Welcome you to the Cigar Lockdown. And I want to say to each and every one of you who has tuned in or has bought a package from us that we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for supporting brick and mortar stores around the country who've been particularly beleaguered by this terrible virus we're all suffering from. I've been lucky that I got a couple acres to wander around in out here in Virginia, but many of you aren't so lucky. So reach out for a cigar when you're looking for a little respite for the day. Smoke it up, think happy thoughts, and again, we thank you.
Welcome to Cigar Lockdown. Sammy, Clay, hope you're enjoying yourselves. Remember, it's all about supporting the brick and mortar. Hope you enjoy the cigars. I hope you enjoy this great show. Wish I could be there with you. Relegated being a ranch hand in Montana. This is what I do. This is what I'm doing now.
Hey guys, Corey from Oliva Cigar Company here. Just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in to the lockdown number 2. We're very happy to be a part of it, and we're very happy to be a part of the sampler packs with Rocky, Room 101, and La Palina. It was fantastic. Thank you to all the retailers and their customers. We fully support you guys, brick and mortar. It's been trying times for our industry, but I just want to, give some words of advice. Make sure, you slow down and take some time for yourself. Enjoy a nice cigar. And hopefully, we can be out of this thing before you know it. As far as company news are concerned, well, this time of year you usually have a lot of company news or industry news because we're headed to the trade show. But, unfortunately, our trade show this year has been canceled. I miss all you guys, but I do have a good announcement that we're going on the road. We're taking the show to your city, near you, and we're teaming up with Rocky Patel, Alec Bradley, and Crown Heads. And we're bringing a mobile trade show to multiple cities across the country for about 2 weeks in July. So I hope to see as many brick and mortar retailers there as possible. We're looking forward to seeing you guys, having a couple drinks, a couple of laughs, and just enjoying, the moment. So anyway, thank you guys again for having me on Cigar Lockdown number 2. Awesome, great show, and I'm looking forward to being a bigger part of it in the future. Thank you guys.
Hello everyone. This is Matt Booth from Room 101 Brands, and I want to personally thank you for supporting the Cigar Lockdown Part 2. It's a completely sold out virtual event on our platform like no other across our industry, solely developed to support our brick and mortar retail partners. So we are grateful that you would elect to participate and support. And we're looking forward to seeing you tonight. I go to war with Bill Paley. It's going to be delightful. That's all I got. Thank you.
What is Rocky doing?
Rocky is in a whole new world.
Oh my gosh.
That horse must be complaining to all the other horses now.
That poor horse. I'm just a ranch hand.
Oh, look at me.
Rocky, you look fantastic. I'm glad you're having a good time. Corey, thank you so much for the kind words. We love you. We're sure that you're going to be a part of this for as long as this whole shebang goes on.
As long as you'll have us.
Right, as long as you'll have us. It ain't the other way around,
That's right.
brother. We love you and we love your company. You guys are making some great cigars. Keep at it. We know that times have been tough.
Yeah.
Matty Booth, we love you as well. And, of course, a special message from our friend Bill Paley. Everything was. I mean, we love you guys, man. We love you. We miss you. We miss seeing your faces. I don't know that we'll ever look at things. Hopefully, we will. But to give somebody a hug, I mean, all of these people, you give them a hug, you give them a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
And, man,
yeah.
things
Social
are just.
distancing really is a strange concept.
It sure as heck is, man.
How does that work at a massage parlor?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
We better ask Lucky Luca.
He might know.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's in charge of the prize pool.
No, everybody's excited about seeing Lucky Luca. If your wives are watching, maybe he will have his shirt off tonight. We're not sure yet.
I don't know if I want to see that.
No, neither do I. Neither do I think any of the other males that are watching this show.
Like, what is this show? What am I watching?
Matt Booth might want to see him.
Oh, he might like it.
He might love it.
But listen, on that note, we have someone very fun right now.
You're damn right we do.
Who's that?
The
Sammy?
legend, Angelo Tsaroukas. Angelo Tsaroukas is an incredible comedian. Whether you've seen him on one of his cruise ship tours or you've seen him out in L.A., I know that he lives in L.A., originally from Canada. He opens for Russell Peters. He's got all kinds of, Kevin Hart and the rest of these guys that he's friends with. He's been on the roasts and all of runs the comedy circuit, the Ha-Ha Hole. Did I get that right?
The Ha-Ha Hole in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. The funniest place you'd never want to be. But Angelo's great, and Angelo and I have been friends for years. And
how did you? I mean, you and Angelo were cigar smoking buddies.
Yeah, we just have a friend of mine, Neil Patel. Not related to Rocky Patel.
Well, so they say.
Yes, that's right. So Anil has a little spot that we all smoke at night. Anil owns a beautiful hotel in Los Angeles. And obviously Los Angeles is not so smoke friendly, but we've got a special area. So one night, Angelo showed up and with the group of guys, and all of a sudden, we were fast friends.
You know, last time I was in L.A., I'll side about Rabbit Trail here for just a hot second. When I was with
Do you like rabbits?
I do.
Ooh, they're nice.
Follow the white rabbit.
Ooh, yeah, you love
Blue pill, red pill, any pill. But I was in L.A. doing the you know, remember the Matrix?
Yes.
I was in L.A. for the Grammys with Bulova and you know, met Michael Benevente and Jeffrey, and it was very cool because they rented out that rooftop bar.
Yeah.
That's across from the JW Marriott.
Oh, that hotel, yeah.
Yeah. The old school,
the Mayflower.
Yeah, that's it. That's the Mayflower.
Yeah,
right.
that used to be like an old flop house.
Very Persian, very nice yellow sheets
5
on the
columns,
walls.
I like it.
It's a lot of columns, right?
A lot of columns.
So I met the Hudson brand ambassador who was there, David. Fantastic guy. And look, we instantly connected. They rented out the rooftop. They're such big cigar smokers. He rented it out, and we were in L.A., and we smoked outdoors in L.A.
Well, in some strange way, you were smoking with Angelo somewhere in the city.
Yeah, man.
Under the cover of night. So on that note, let's take a great look here at my good friend and Sammy's good friend, Angelo Tsaroukas.
Let's introduce our good friend and comedian extraordinaire, Angelo Tsaroukas. Tsaroukas? Tartachas. Let's try this again. Angelo Tsaroukas. Born in Montreal, Canada, which is where lots and lots of great things are, but we just don't know exactly what to show you in this video. His birth name is
Evangelos Petros Tsaroukas.
He was the largest baby ever born in Montreal, in fact, the whole world. His parents immigrated to Canada from Greece in 1949. Why they would leave that place for Canada is astounding. Peter and Anastasia, very proud of their son, but haven't seen him since he was born. Here's a Greek fact. In ancient Greece, if you were not interested in politics, you were considered an idiot, idiotes, as they would say. Angelo's favorite meal is egg rolls from Golden Palace in Ottawa, Canada. Here's a food fact. Lamb's head. This is a dish that you have more chances of tasting if you visit Greece for Easter. The lamb's brain is considered the best part of the head. Yummy! So now that you know tons about his personal life, all facts being 100% true, here's a little bit about his career and his comedy.
Can I help you, gentlemen? Swordfish? You know you're here to see? I'm only gonna stay like a week or so. It's gonna be like I'm not even here at all.
Hey, move your ass!
I'm sorry, hold on. No, hold on. Let me walk over to a manhole booth and I'll tell them what happened.
Sorry! Move, you fucking twat!
I don't want mayonnaise. I want Miracle Whip.
Oh.
It has half the fat, and I prefer the taste.
I got your Miracle Whip.
Right here!
Girls, you get in a relationship, what do girls think of right away? Girls get in a relationship, what do they think of? The ring. The ring, the precious. Give me the ring. I need the ring. I need the precious. You become Spiegelers. I need the ring. The ring. You're psycho. I heard what she wanted. Circle cut diamond Tiffany setting. I went and got it. It's not that we buy you the ring. There's got to be a story that goes with the ring. Because she'll go show her friends and family. Look, I got engaged. Oh. How did he propose? What do you women want? Well, he took me to Narnia. Yeah. And then we rode around on a unicorn eating chocolate-covered strawberries. And then we ended up on a marshmallow beach and we made love. It's so romantic. Ladies, take the ring and shut up. I could have bought rims for my Charger. But every man has romance, right? Every guy has romance. We talk tough. We're not tough. We love. Told my girl I had a show in San Francisco when I was going to propose to her. Show got canceled. Took her out to the hotel, went for Italian food, Fisherman's Wharf. We ended up at the San Francisco Bridge, Vista Point Lookout, fog and mist over the skyline, Alcatraz, all kinds of stuff there. It's romantic, right? I think it's romantic. What's my fear as a man? My fear as a man, I did all of this, and she says, no. Stop right there. LA Lakers basketball game. You heard about this last year? 21,000 people, Jumbotron. Guy took his girl center court, got down on one knee, said, Amanda, will you marry me? And in front of 21,000 people, Amanda said, no. No. That's why when I asked my girl to get married, we were standing close to a cliff. Because if someone said no, someone had an accident. I'm not sure. Me either. I'll go get those rims for my car. She said yes. So stupid. You like to talk, don't you, ladies? At the wrong time. Yeah, we're lying in bed. Listen, if we're in bed, we're sleeping or... That's my face. She goes, stop. Can we talk about what? Us. Us. What about us? Where are we? Angelo, you and I. Where are we? Where are we? Bed. Where's it going? Like, where are we going? Where are you going? Where? Hopefully your vagina. I don't know. Why do I gotta play Jeopardy every time I wanna have sex with my wife? Yeah, banging your wife for 400, Alex. Bing! She goes, look, I just can't do it. This is how girls, I can't do it. I can't do it unless I feel we're connected, right? Girl, I have to feel connected. We're not connecting. Okay, let me put it in just a little bit. Look at the girls, you're an asshole. Look at the guys, let them finish the joke. This way our souls are connected, we're connected. While you know what, I don't know, ladies, I don't know where the question, there's that one question. She goes, okay, I'll do it if you answer this question. What? She goes, if you won the lottery, would you still love me? Would you? I'm like, yes, of course. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna love you wherever I am. Not what she wanted.
I do love what I do, and I feel blessed with what I'm doing, and I still feel relevant, and that's very important. I think you want to still feel like you're relevant and you're contributing to what people want to hear and making people laugh and connecting with people. And I'm still doing it. So I'll keep doing this as long as I can connect and be relevant. You don't want to be that guy who's just bitter and angry and whatever. So, but I'm a comedian. I'm proud of it, and I'll keep doing it until I die.
Ladies and gentlemen, the extremely versatile and hilarious Angelo Tsaroukas.
Angelo, the best.
Angelo Tsaroukas.
Oh, right, from beautiful Montreal, Canada.
I love it, man. I've been watching the Durrells. I think I'm going to screw this up. The Durrells and Corfu. So I'm harnessing the inner Greek right now.
Oh.
My wife and I are watching that.
Are you?
Yeah, man. I love it.
How you doing, Ange? There he is.
Good. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
I've seen that show, the Durrells. It's a British show.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Where they go to Corfu and then they become Greek.
Yeah.
And then the Greeks rob them and take all their money. That's a good show.
Right. It's the best.
What's
It's
going
the
on,
best show in the
Ange?
world. I'm
What's
good.
up,
How about
baby?
you guys doing?
Well-
I'm having PO1 here. Self-quarantine day 9,400.
Are you self-quarantining at a Home Depot? Look at that. Look at that background.
Well, I mean, look at us living the lap of luxury, fellas.
I'm telling you, man. If we, Ange, hold on one second. Guys, can we move the mouse off of Ange's head, please? That'd be great.
Yeah. What's a mouse doing on my head?
You got a mouse on your head, don't you know?
That's all right. Don't you know there, boy? Don't you know there, boy?
You betcha.
Oh.
Ange, you're looking
betcha.
good, man. How are you hanging up? Last time we
you
talked
guys
to
look
you,
good.
you were in Vegas. How was Vegas?
Vegas was good. I mean, it was just good to drive through the desert for a few days from LA. And I took the family. And what better family vacation than mom and dad blowing the mortgage payments?
I love it. I love it.
You know what I love about Vegas? They always have those commercials where they show the family going to Vegas and they're having fun, and
oh yeah,
they never show the reality of it. You know,
the aftermath.
Dad's drinking while mom's blowing the mortgage, and the kids are crying in the corner. I want a hot dog.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Ange, listen, baby. You're not on the road right now, which is rare for you. You're usually, how many days a year are you on the road?
About 275, 280.
That's it?
But I know that's it. I'm an amateur compared to you guys.
Oh, come on, Ange. No,
about 275, 280. You know, it's like, and that's because of travel days, I think. So on the road a lot.
Yeah. So what's it like
But
not being out there for you right now?
You know, Clay, every 3 or 4 days I wake up screaming, I missed my flight. Because it's just, my wife's like, calm down, you're home. The world's ended. You're home with your family where you belong.
Think of all the material you'll get. Think of all that new material you'll get from your wife.
I'm telling you, it's because I think what's going on right now is that you're conditioned, and if I get into a real deep stage of sleep, my mind's wandering that I have to get up and go somewhere. And I've been getting up at 5. I'm going to bed at 5, 6 in the morning, getting up. Because as you know, when you travel a lot, you miss days of sleep. You get a day or two you don't sleep.
Oh yeah.
And I got used to that. And then there's these young people that live downstairs from me here smoking the marijuana.
Ooh.
Constantly. And I've had it, guys. I had it the other night. I went outside. I went downstairs. I knocked on their door. And these 2 little hotties opened it up, and I go, Daddy wants a puff. So
Puff,
I
puff,
said,
give, baby.
If you're going to smoke, I want some.
Oh,
We're all going through this pandemic together.
That's right. In it together, baby. In it together.
So,
That's
Ange,
right.
you and I always talk about, which I think is very funny, and you and I have a very nice relationship. I appreciate you very much. And we always talk about people out in the world. You're a stand-up comedian. So how many people are out there telling you a joke that you should use?
A lot. It's funny. Like somebody will tell me a joke. They go, I got one you can use. And then they'll tell me the joke, and I go, you're right. If I want to end my career, I'll use that joke. And it's amazing. The thing about what comedians, especially I think comics, people will look at comedians and think, I can do that. It's nothing. And everybody should have a sense of, you guys are funny guys. You have a sense of humor. But I always tell people to consistently get in front of a group of strangers you don't know, between 750 and 5,000 people a night, and make them laugh. That's where it kicks in.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And you ever hear jokes, Clay, when they tell you a joke? Yeah, okay, so there's 3 guys. No, there's 4. No, there's 9. They're in Cincinnati. No, New York. No, Pittsburgh. I mean, okay, dude, how long is this joke going to take? You tell me the joke.
Ange, what's it like? I mean, obviously, I would assume, I should say, that you're close with a lot of these guys.
Right.
We're familiar with on Comedy Central, what have you, whether it's Russell Peters or Kevin Hart or, Chappelle, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, what's it like? I mean, you talk to these cats. Are they going crazy too?
Well, 4th of July party was at Russell Peters' house. He's my BFF. So I went there, and I guess the guy that because of COVID, the caterer isn't available. So hey, I have a friend. He's Greek. I guess who became the caterer. So here I am now at this fat mansion up in Hidden Hills, here in Calabasas, and then there's like Jeff Ross, who I know. Jeff Ross was there, Roastmaster General.
Oh yeah.
John Stamos. Who else was there? Gerard Butler. All these kind of different people, and it's so funny because I'm sitting there going, "Hey, I'm a world-class comedian," and I can hear the guy say, "Hey, can you put another piece of cheese on my burger?" So I was sitting there cooking, and my friend Noel, I got my friend Noel who's Jewish. He's a Jew named Christmas, he's a comic too. Noel, so I go, Noel, he came over, and my wife was there, and I said, here, typical. You have the Jew, the Armenian, and the Greek catering the Superstars party. And they love the food because here's the secret. I'm going to give you guys a tip, and for all your listeners out there, for barbecue, one spice you need, Montreal steak spice. The best thing on your steak and burgers. It's everywhere now. They have it at Costco. They have it. Montreal steak spice. Not because I'm from Montreal. That's the secret. I got it. Yes, I was hobnobbing, Clay, with the Hollywood elite as I was picking up their dishes and saying, "Hey, I loved you in 300." So I think I was born. I was born a burger flipper. I'm gonna die one at this point.
God bless.
Because it's the truth. It was like all these celebs were there, and I'm there cooking, which I don't mind to do because I like doing it. Russell goes, "Come on, man, help me out. The caterers aren't here. I'm gonna look like an idiot." I'm like, okay, so I just. So they're probably saying, "Hey, those burgers are good. Who is that guy?" "Oh yeah, he's the caterer."
He's the opening act.
He's the opening act. He's the opening act. But it was fun though. But I did get a double thumbs up from Jeff Ross. He came up to me, he goes, "Hey, bro, you're welcome to my house anytime if you want to cook there too."
You didn't get invited on a roast, but you got invited to roast.
Yeah. I exactly. I didn't get invited to the roast. I got invited to roast. I guess
it's very Greek.
Well, because Greek. But here's the weird thing. I enjoy doing it. It's weird. It brings me back to because every Greek child has been raised to catering 101. You got a crash course in running a diner, restaurant, catering, food truck, whatever. So I'm giving orders around. I need these burgers. I need these dogs. We got carnita asada. Chop it up. Don't. The guy's trying to take it from me, and I'm yelling at people. And one guy came over. He's a big record producer. I don't know his name. He's a huge record producer. He goes, "Your burger's burnt a bit." I go, "Hey, take another one." I'm getting snappy. And Russell goes, "Hey, you're being snappy with the guests." I think I'm back at my dad's restaurant where my dad's favorite pastime was throwing people out of the diner.
Get him out of there, Ange.
Get out. You don't like this here? Get out. What do you think this is?
Here, Ange, do this. Do your dad. Like, take a breath, take a stop, and do your dad throwing someone out.
This is my dad goes, "Look, my friend, you don't like this food? It's no problem. You go to your restaurant, you eat your food. Get the hell out of here right now. Go. Okay?" My dad would, and he loved throwing people out, and he'd laugh after. Salama beats.
I love
it. That's Salama beats,
Listen, Ange, let me ask you one last question here before we let you go about your day in beautiful Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
What was it? You went back to Greece and did a stand-up routine in Greece, correct?
Yes.
How was that?
It was crazy. I was nervous. That's my most nervous show because here's the deal. I'd done shows everywhere but Greece. And what I wanted to do was go, so here's the routine. A lot of my routine is about growing up Greek outside of Greece, and then I'm going to Greece to tell Greeks what it's like to be Greek outside of Greece. So they were like, and I told them, and how I started it off, guys. I said, okay, so I speak Greek the way you guys speak English. So let's start like from there, because they tend to make fun, but they loved it. They loved it. I think they've come to age now where they like the fact that I was telling stories. So, growing up in the diaspora, I would grow up in a Greek family. At home we spoke Greek, but then everything else, when we went to school or work, we had to speak English. So you develop like a Tourette's sort of dyslexia, because I would remember words in Greek and I forgot them in English, right? So you'd be like, but my dad's favorite thing, he would do this. My dad would get mad at us, and Greeks would always scold you in Greek and end it in English. So if I say, Dad, we're going out. You're going out. Τι λες ρε, δεν θα πας πουθενά, θα κάτσεις εδώ. Εδώ είναι το σπίτι σου, εδώ. Θα κάτσεις στο σπίτι σου, εδώ είσαι εδώ. I don't think so, my friend. I said, what the? So you were like, he'd yell at you in Greek the whole way. I don't think so, my friend.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, my friend.
And
okay,
when did you know you wanted to be a comedian? Like, when did it click for you?
I think I used to listen to old like Jackie Mason, Lenny Bruce, Red Fox, Bill Cosby.
Oh, wow.
Before the but I used to listen to all those albums. It was always the power of laughter, like the fact that they can make people laugh and get that response. So I started in school, right? I'd be in school, and if I was the ham. If the teacher didn't show up, I go to the front of the class and pretend to be Victor Skakopoulos. I'm here to talk to you about science. Open your books, and the kids would look at me like, "What's he doing?" And then the teachers would come in and sit in the back. And once I went on for 20 minutes making everything up, and it was I think Mrs. Spalding, and I go to her. I've been up for 20 minutes. She goes, "Go on. I need a break. You're funny." So the teachers sometimes let me, and then I think I like the attention, of course. I like getting the laughs, and then it was a variety show, and I didn't have a lot of material, so I talked about high school, and then I did Rodney because I loved Rodney, right? Take out the garbage. You cooked it. You take it out. I love Rodney. So I would do a little bit of Rodney, a little bit of my own stuff, and that's when I got hooked. And then I realized, believe it or not, even in high school, and a lot of my friends said in high school, they said, you're the only guy that knew what he wanted to do in high school and actually did it.
That's amazing, right?
Right. So a lot of people, even to this day, old friends will say, hey, you wanted to be a stand-up, and here you are. You are.
Well, and
which is
very cool.
You are an absolute class act, and we love you.
I love you guys.
Yeah,
I love you guys.
We love you too.
We thank you
You
for
guys are
taking
great,
time
man.
to be on the lockdown.
Anytime. Anytime.
We know you're busy. You got a lot of stuff going on.
But babe, I right after this call, I'm talking to the heads of Paramount.
Well,
got a big deal going on. Actually, I didn't tell you guys. I forgot to tell you guys. I did sign it's a small deal. I signed a deal with HBO and Showtime.
Awesome.
It's
a small deal.
Small deal.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, it's so small.
Small deal. Yeah, it's 6 months, $8.99 a month for both channels.
There it is. There it is right there. You'll be at the Laugh Trap in Temecula tonight.
So
That was the best.
I thought you could the one small deal. And I got to tell you this. I talked to you the other day. There's a comic, very funny comic in Toronto, Lawrence Morgenstern. And we talked about introductions. And he used to have the best introduction for me. He goes, ladies and gentlemen, your next act. Very, very funny guy. He makes you think. He makes you laugh. He makes you think you're laughing. Angelo Tsaroukas. And they used to walk up. Every time he makes you think, he makes you laugh. I love puns. I love the puns.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So.
Amazing.
That's good. Anyway.
Well, Ange, listen. As we say always to you, Pelikala Feristo.
Paracalo, Sotiri, and Clay. And because it's Sam and Sotiri and Clay, I don't know what it. Clay is, mud or clay. No, not mud. You're not mud. I'm saying clay.
It's okay, Ange. We'll cut this right out. Boom, boom. Bada jig.
Gee, I wonder why they don't call me anymore.
We've moved on to Carrot Top.
Oh, no way. You're not getting out that easy, baby. You're a lifer.
You're a lifer here at the lockdown.
Carrot Top with the steroids and the plastic surgery.
My God. You'd look good.
Boy, that's, he's like, this is all pure Greek fat. It's all the real thing.
Ooh.
That's good.
Well, Ange, thank you again for being on. And
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you in the next lockdown. Thank you for being part of the family.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I'm happy to be part of the family now. I love this dysfunctional family happening. I'm glad to be a part of it. So.
Absolutely.
All right, Bubba.
That's good. Bye-bye, buddy.
Bye.
Thank you, Ange. Be
Bye,
well,
Ange.
Bye,
buddy.
guys. Bye-bye. Bye.
I mean, dude, that was fantastic. The whole that HBO fucking
That was the
Showtime
best.
clip,
Well,
that
he's
was
the best.
fantastic.
He's like this all the time, by the way. Like when you
Unreal.
sit down and we smoke at a friend of mine, his house, and we sat in the back, and Ange is on the whole time.
My God.
And it's definitely always a laugh.
You know, it's got to be interesting, right? Because you come over to the house, obviously, a lot.
Yeah.
And we go to these places, other places a lot, whether it's Nish's house, blah, 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 blah. And nobody is a fraction as humorous as Angelo Tsaroukas. So I can't even imagine what it's like to sit back in L.A., to have a cigar at one of your boys' house and just, like, let him go.
Yeah, well, that's what he does. We let him go.
But you can't relax because you're laughing the whole time.
No, you're laughing the whole time. And he actually even lets you interject once in a while.
What a guy, man.
What a guy.
What a guy. What a treat. Only here at the Lockdown.
And speaking of the lockdown, what's
Yeah.
next, Sammy? A little something to eat?
You know, I am a little famished. Not that I need to consume any more calories whatsoever.
Well, why don't we let Chef Nicole make you something delicious?
That's right. Next, we're going to be joined by our very good friend, Chef Nicole Brisson. She is more accolades than I could even mention, but let me mention a few. She's a James Beard Award semifinalist here in 2020.
Oh, baby.
She's working with one of the finest butchers in the world, probably the finest butcher in the world, Dario Sicari. I always mess up his last name.
You butcher his name.
I butcher his name. Not purposefully, but I butcher his name. And the guy is phenomenal, Clay. I mean, any of the major chefs that you're seeing right now,
Yeah.
like the chef who was just on Rogan a couple of weeks ago, he's talking about Dario. And out of all the people in the world, he selected her to represent his North American business.
Yeah,
she
she's
won
amazing.
the best steakhouse in America, best chef in America. She's a two-time Chopped winner. And one of our besties. I mean, she is just phenomenal. And the segment that she's got here for everybody today, and when we talked to Chef, we talked about, some of Dario's things, what she had done in the past for Mario Batali and Joe Bastianich, and what she had done at Carne Vino, which was the finest steakhouse in Vegas, in my opinion, and I know in your opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, just an amazing, amazing person, an amazing, amazing cook, and we love her to pieces. And she's going to teach you today how to carve a tenderloin at home, the skill all of us need, especially if you're having a dinner party.
So let's take a look at Chef Nicole.
Hi everyone, this is Nicole Brisson. This is our second episode of Quarantine Kitchen as part of the Cigar Lockdown. A lot of you probably remember me from Carne Vino, which was obviously a big steakhouse. And now I currently work for SB as consulting chef. Per Clay's request, we are going to be breaking down a whole tenderloin, as you see here. Something that's pretty common and easy in the restaurant business, but might not be for household names. I just took it out of the cryovac to kind of blot some of the blood off so it's easier to process. When you go to a restaurant and you order a filet mignon, it's always the center cut of a tenderloin. So there's obviously only one tenderloin per cow. And right now it looks kind of ugly, but we're gonna clean it up to make it nice and pretty and talk about some other uses for it. So you can see my knife just going under what's called silver skin. You can see it's got a silver shine to it. This is really, really tough. So you wanna remove that from the filet so it becomes more palatable. And we're just gonna work our way down, taking all that fat and silver skin off. When I went to culinary school, one of the first things your chef instructors tell you is that silver skin is impossible to eat because it's very tough, it's very hard to chew. But now that I've gotten older and I have a favorite Japanese restaurant here in town, they actually take the silver skin and they braise it for a very, very long time till it becomes nice and supple and it starts to break down. And it's one of my favorite dishes here. It's a restaurant called Raku, and it's really one of my favorite things to eat. And you can also, if you want to utilize the whole animal, you can take it and you can finely dice it and put it into ragouts like a bolognese or something like that. So you really want to always be conscientious of using the whole animal and having no waste. And this can go into grinding for It can be stew meat, it can be ground into a bolognese, or used in anything that you can hand chop or grind up for something. You can use any kind of small knife that you have in your household. I would typically use a boning knife, but this one's nice and easy. You can also see up here, we've got this butt tender. He's basically like a little mini tenderloin attached onto the big tenderloin. And this you'll see it in a lot of restaurants, like when you see beef medallions or pastas with sliced filet on top or something like that. That's usually where it comes from here, because it's a slightly cheaper cut, and as we know, filet is very expensive, and this is a way to utilize the entire cut. I bought this at our local butcher block, but pretty much any butcher will be happy to sell it to you, because then they don't have to do all this work, and you'll save yourself a lot of money. Normally, a filet in a restaurant's anywhere from $50 to $85, especially here on the Strip. So as we cut down, you can see you can get many fillets out of this if you're doing a dinner party, or you can tie and roast the whole thing, slice it thin, do filet mignon sandwiches, something like that. But it's actually a pretty versatile cut. When I was at Carne Vino, we would cut the fillets for service, and then these end pieces here that you can see it gets more narrow towards the end, we would make a beef tartare out of that. So we would hand chop all the end pieces, and that would get dressed with some lemon, a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, capers, a little bit of shallot, salt, cracked black pepper, and that makes a great tartare. Also down here, I'm just going to trim that because it's kind of narrow towards the end. And another thing you can do with the narrow ends too is you can sear them off and season it with whatever rub you want, or just simply salt and pepper, and then tie it and slice it very thin, and you can make a carpaccio, which is another kind of fun appetizer to do with this. So the reason why filet is so expensive, you can imagine that there's only one of these per cow. Okay, so here I've separated out all the scrap from the beautiful clean tenderloin. All this scrap here will get turned into a bolognese, probably tonight or tomorrow. And then, as I mentioned, we have the butt tender here. Now, since it's beautiful grilling season outside, I'll probably just take this and dice it up, and you can also do some skewers for grilling. Or I mentioned you can do a tartare or carpaccio or something like that. Now we've got this beautiful round center cut here, and then you can see it tapers off towards the end. So you want to just trim up to the center. Take these off, and again, these can be carpaccio, anything. You really only get about 4 to 5 really nice fillets. In a restaurant, you typically see about an 8-ounce fillet. This is an 8-ounce fillet. It's nice, it's cute, it's little, it's fat-free, so I always call it the chick cut in the restaurant because it's what people usually want, because it's little and petite and pretty. And if you're healthy, you're on keto and kind of watching your calories, it's a great way to eat. And those are our fillets, so this will be dinner tonight, and then we'll utilize these for other purposes.
Ooh.
Oh, my Lord, can that woman handle some meat?
Ooh, she's been handling your meat for years.
Oh, promises.
No, I mean it. I mean, how many years did we spend going to Carne Vino?
10 years.
Unbelievable.
Every trade show, every time we went to Vegas, either individually, Carne Vino, maybe 100 times.
Best steak I've ever had in my life.
The experience there. She provided such a great experience for us.
You know what? When you think back on Carne Vino and you think back about the Me Too movement and all the stuff that's happened, and I don't know what's going on with Mario now, but I know that most or all of those charges had been dropped and thousands of people were put out of work. I mean,
Yeah.
she was in charge of, I don't know, like 1,000 people in the front of the house and 800. It was thousands of people.
Listen, the restaurant business is one of those businesses that everyone says it's like buying a sailboat.
Right.
It's the greatest day when you bought it and the greatest day when you sold it.
Right.
There's a lot of work, and you know about this because your family in Naples, Florida. Your father was all about food. Had restaurants. What was that all about?
Still, I mean, that's been my life. I mean, I was slinging coleslaw when I was 3 years old when we first. I mean that. I mean, those were my Sundays. You know, as my dad would go in and take the liquor inventory. But I'm born and raised in the hospitality business, and you know, Bill Paley, our partner, is also a big hospitality guy. Ooh, Bill, the Gandy dancer.
Oh.
But you know, I learned about food on such an intimate level growing up.
Sure,
because
sure.
I knew what was crap and what was real, and what restaurants were just churning and burning. Like the difference between going to something like a Cheesecake Factory or going down to the Dock restaurant down here in Naples, Florida, like I did, which is on the water, and not a lot of places like that anymore. You know,
No.
all the big the development companies have come in and taken all that over, and I learned from some incredible guys. I mean, Thomas Keller was actually in this region. He worked at the Boathouse in his early days. So I watched Clay and I learned in and out of the kitchen. And then my father was always FOH. He was always front of house. So Luke and I, my brother, lucky Luca, and I learned how to schmooze on the front of the house, how to deal with major problems when people were pissed off because their meals were late or their food was wrong. And so I really learned after college the difference between food and incredible food.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure, please.
When somebody sends a meal back,
yes,
when is that appropriate and when is it inappropriate?
Oh my gosh!
Just come on.
Talk about a hardball. You know what? For me, I think that if you're not satisfied with your meal,
right,
and you think that the food is off in some way, shape, or form, you need to send that food back.
All
because
right.
you're paying good money for that food. And for me, it's very different, right? Because I look at the service that I'm getting. If I'm getting incredible service, I guarantee you that server is always going to be good with you sending that food back.
When is it that I have my halibut wiped on the kitchen floor? Because I know it happens. I don't send food back ever.
I have seen some really crazy stuff in kitchens.
Have you?
Yes.
Let's hear one. Kitchen
All right,
Confidential.
so years ago when I'll go Anthony Bourdain on you, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
I was at a local restaurant, one of my first jobs here. I was a busboy, and I walked into the back of the. Now this was, my God, I'm trying to think here. It's got to be 20 years ago.
All right.
So I'm there on a weekend, and I walk into the back, and there's this very, very large woman working in the dishwashing area. And back then, right, food safety was a totally different bag.
Yeah.
So I walk into the back, and there's this big woman, and she's cleaning shrimp. So they steamed like big vats of shrimp to get ready for the shrimp cocktail. Be careful where you order shrimp cocktail, folks. And she's there, and she's like shucking the shrimp, and she's got this swagger about her as she's shucking the shrimp. And then this server walks in. That's why I don't eat shrimp 98% of the time.
Yeah.
And she's shucking the shrimp, and this big waft of dishwater from dirty dishes comes over and like splashes onto the shrimp. And I was like, and she's there just eating the shrimp like, moo, I'm going to eat two, and then I'm going to give one for the house.
Picking and eating?
She was picking and
Covered
eating.
in dishwater.
Covered with it. Now, this is the typical dishwater that you would see in a restaurant. I mean, I'm serious. Like, all the leftover food is like nasty and disgusting. So for us, we were hypersensitive about all of this.
Yeah.
My guys would polish their restaurant plates every single day at a cold section. So if you pulled a plate out and it was going to go to the salad section, it was going this direction. It was a hot plate that would pull out, and then you put your steak on the hot plate, dressed appropriately, real beautiful and elegant.
All right, let me ask you one more question.
Sure, please.
So everyone always says that the bathroom's clean, the kitchen's clean. You think that's true?
Under the advice of my attorney, I respectfully decline any answers to your questions.
Yeah, I'm your attorney, so that's I let you speak.
I think that if a restaurant is taking care of its restrooms and they're really clean and they're well stocked, that you've got a much better chance of food safety. Look, this shit that I was dealing with is totally different today than it ever was before. I mean that. The food inspectors show up all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that since the era of the celebrity chef, like Anthony Bourdain or Gordon Ramsay, a good buddy of yours, or Andrew Zimmer, and guys who really worked in the Guy Fieri, who worked in the kitchen, there's a whole nother level of sanitation these days.
Yeah.
I mean, and I mean that. You know, the old school where these guys were doing copious amounts of drugs and drinking on the job, that shit has passed unless you found some hole in the wall in the middle of, Dubuque, Montana, I guess.
Been there. Spent a week there one night.
No, but I mean, this is where I grew up, man.
Yeah,
around these wacky. That's probably why I'm so whacked out, man.
Restaurant business.
What's
my excuse?
Movie business.
I guess the combination just makes for a couple of lovable grogs.
Pirates, bro.
Yeah.
Pirates. You know, I always loved that Anthony Bourdain had a pirate because you really were living that lifestyle. I mean, it was the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
It was the wild, wild west in Hollywood, and we saw that
Oh,
with the stuff that came out about Harvey Weinstein, and then it just
Oh, yeah,
after
it's-
that. But in the restaurant business, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Whether it was sex or drugs or violence or just drama that was going on between couples. I mean, it was wild.
Wow. Let's talk about something really wild that I saw a little bit earlier out there in the hallway.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, that book. What is that? What is
Amazing.
that book?
Amazing, right?
Not if anybody speaks Yiddish, there's a book, which is this, and there's a book that Sammy is part of.
Yeah. So our good friend Aaron Sigmund, who's a world-renowned author, best-selling author, wrote the Playboy Book of Cigars. Also wrote this beautiful book, the Accutron book, From the Space Age to the Digital Age, or
The diddling age?
The diddling age. Sig, congratulations. You are a diddler. This is an incredible book. It's a hardbound book, which is rare these days. It's also got all these beautiful wine labels and cigar bands that are tipped in. And I don't really know what that means, so we should probably ask Sig about that. And I know that the gold that's in there is not gold coloring. It's like real gold. So we've got to ask him about that as well. This is a $1,000 book. And the Humidor edition, which we showed, is about $2,200, $2,300. So it's a beautiful, custom-made Spanish cedar humidor. And when I say custom-made, I'm not talking about Li Blue. I'm not talking about Davidoff. Even though it is on the same... It's the same pedigree one of those humidors.
Yeah.
It's absolutely astonishing.
Yeah, the only thing shinier than that humidor is my forehead. That's right. So, listen, without further ado, let's take a look at it because the unveiling really is something special. It's very cool.
It's amazing. Check it out. We hope you love it.
Hey guys, Rob here with Boveda. I'm going to teach you how to season your humidor. First off, nothing could be easier than seasoning your humidor. To begin, we're going to make sure your humidor is completely empty. You want to place all your cigars into an airtight container like the Boveda humidor bag or a Tupperware container. Make sure you include your preferred RH inside that container. Next, we'll need to determine the capacity of your humidor. Here I'm using a 100 count humidor, so I'll need 4 60-gram seasoning packs, and if you're using our new 320-gram pack, you'll just need 1. Unwrap the Boveda 84% packs and place them throughout the humidor. Close the lid to your humidor and let it sit for 2 weeks. And remember, what we're trying to accomplish here is getting your humidor's relative humidity close to 70%. The reason why we're using 84% packs is to get the job done in 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks are completed, open your humidor and throw away your seasoning packs. Reintroduce your cigars along with your Boveda packs of your preferred RH. Congratulations, you have now seasoned your humidor. And remember, depending upon the type of humidor you have, you might find it beneficial to re-season every 1 to 2 years. This is similar to general maintenance like an oil change in your car. If you're wondering why it's so important to season your humidor, please check out Boveda's other how-to videos. Thanks for watching, guys.
That was a fantastic piece, man.
Now, here's the thing.
Yes.
Have you been seasoning your humidor correctly for the past 20 years?
Okay, so here's the best part about this is I thought I knew what I was doing with seasoning the humidor. I've probably seasoned 30, 40 humidors in my day.
Yeah,
Seriously.
no,
We did Mike Ditka's humidor when the Ditka's franchise was still in business. Ooh, baby, I wiped it down nicely. Nice. But in all seriousness, we were having this conversation with a couple of local guys. I said, let's call the professionals at Boveda. And of course, we talked to Sean. We talked to them. Thank you guys. We're huge fans of theirs. And they said, "No, man, this is not how you do it." And so, with time and technology, we now know how to season our humidor properly.
Amazing. Speaking about seasoning humidors, we got somebody special on the line.
You're damn right we do.
Who do we have?
We are now joined by the man, the myth, the legend in everybody's mind, including his own, my good friend, Aaron Sigmund, world-renowned best-selling author. Siggy, welcome to the Lockdown.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Hey, can I light up now?
Yeah,
I've been
man.
waiting.
Light up.
You can light up.
Hold on. We got to get a close-up. Do you recognize that, man?
That's the El Sig.
That is the El Sig Robusto Privé Reserva.
Very
nice. You use your mouth's very fancy mouth.
Yeah, I do.
You do.
You got a fancy mouth.
Nice timepiece, Sig. What are you rocking there?
Today I'm rocking the classic Omega Speedmaster.
Oh, very nice.
That's a very handsome timepiece.
It was what the pilots, the astronauts, the boys who flew.
Oh,
wore.
the Flyers.
I'm wearing the 1934 Paddock Philippe.
Are you really?
I am indeed.
Holy shit! Good for you, man.
Look at that vintage piece, huh?
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And I'm wearing a
Who did you mug for that?
Clay's watch safe.
Yeah. I'm wearing a knockoff Timex.
You know, I got to tell you, I own a couple of Omegas, and they're just really great classic Swiss. I mean, they're just great watches. I'm a big fan.
Now,
and
Siggy,
after writing,
for guys that don't know Sig, you can check out Aaron's Instagram, which is one of my favorite places to go, not just because he's my friend.
He steals only my good stuff.
Only the best. At Sig Cigar. Check it out. I love your new signet ring as well, Sig. That thing.
That's our boy. That's our boy Matty from room 101.
Very cool.
Brands. Isn't that great?
Very Tiffany.
So I have
very
one
Tiffany
in.
style.
I love. It's funny that you say that. So I have Mrs. Sigmund bought me this exact same ring in 18-karat yellow gold, but I don't like wearing the yellow gold. I don't mix my colored metals. Don't read anything into this.
I am
There's
using
no
that for the
political
rest of my
statement.
life. That is
It's
my
like,
new line.
I like stainless steel. I like stainless steel stuff and silver stuff.
Understood.
It makes
You know,
sense.
It
does.
perfect sense.
So
Absolutely.
I went back to Tiffany's. And I said, make me the exact same ring in silver. And they're like, we will do our best. And they truly sent back a piece of, can I say shit? Garbage?
Yeah. Whatever
Poop?
you'd like.
Whatever. Shit. It was garbage. Absolutely hot garbage.
Way to go, Tiffany & Co.
And it really was monumentally disappointing. And so I went to our mutual friend, your business partner, Mr. Booth, and I said, here's photos from all sorts of different angles. Can you make me this ring in sterling silver? And he made me this ring in a custom ring, one of a kind. And it matches identically. As a matter of fact, I just posted a whole story on both my Instagram accounts about it.
Very nice.
So there you go.
Man. So let's talk about Aaron Sigmund.
Are we done with my accessories? I mean,
we
I
are not.
Tell you the underwear.
We could
Can
go.
we talk about,
deep as we want to go.
Can we talk about Monkey 47 Schwarzwald
dry gin?
That's it. You know,
gin from the Germans.
From the people who brought you Hitler comes and actually really. Are we? It's too soon for the Hitler jokes. I don't know. But,
not for me. I'm good.
No, it's like everybody here.
Let's just not mix the metals.
Exactly. It's like don't mix the metals. Some people really like the mixed metals. Do you know? I'll tell you another quick story since we're talking about accessories.
Sure.
The reason I picked this wedding band, which is a Tiffany or a Cartier, rather classic Cartier rolling ring, is one band is white gold, one band is rose gold, and one band is yellow gold. And the reason I did that is I knew it would go with every single watch that I ever wore on that hand.
That's fair. I like that.
It's smart. Maybe the most metrosexual thing that I've heard in the last 24 hours.
Well,
however,
that
very nice.
And that's saying something.
Saying a lot.
Well, not
That
mixing
is
the
saying a
metals
lot.
is my favorite. It is so logically obnoxious. I love it.
Right.
I don't mix my airline
it's-
colors.
It's I
keep my British Airways with my Singapores, with my
I mean, how
SAAs.
bad does a rose gold watch look with like white gold ring? It's
No, you're
terrible.
right. It's awful.
It's terrible.
It's awful, and that's why this ring is the ring for all seasons.
So when we talk about Aaron Sigmund,
We're talking about nothing cigar related.
I love
that.
it.
Well, I love it too. But seriously, when we talk about Aaron Sigmund, we talk about the fashion writer, the overall lifestyle
Yeah, I
writer.
don't look too fashionable today compared to you guys. You guys look very dapper.
Well, you know, I'm rocking the Duca Soteria, Max Giambralde.
Yeah, we look yes, our friend Max. But more importantly, somebody who loves you a lot must have given you. For a lot of people do not know that Louboutin makes men's shoes.
Indeed, they do.
They do. Not just
now, Sig, is it okay? Because you told me don't show the bottom of your shoes.
Yeah,
but
it's bad.
if they're CLVs, can you actually show the red
no,
bottom?
Absolutely. That's it.
I mean, I think that you kind of got to flash that, right?
You see, and I'm wearing Leroy Vuitton slippers, which you would love.
Yes. Well, I love
Leroy.
the Stubbs and Wooten, and I love the Mount Street Shoe Company. They make them at the same factory, the Stubbs and Wooten guys and the Mount Street guys.
I love that.
So I'm all about the slippers. But actually, there was a brief period of time that Manolo Blahnik also did men's shoes, but he does not anymore. Yeah.
Very cool.
A cornucopia, a wealth of inconsequential
prolapsed
knowledge.
really prolapsed cornucopia.
Sure, I'll take it.
It's all coming out. When we talk about
Did
I
I
remember
mention that my segment is sponsored by
Monkey 47?
Monkey 47 Schwarzwald gin.
You wrote a piece when we talk about Smoke
Back
Magazine.
in the day, I had a piece. Now I just write a piece.
When we talk about Smoke Magazine and the thickness of Smoke Magazine in the mid to late 90s,
like your Tsaroukas. This became very quickly a friar's roast. I don't know. You put 5 Jews on a set, and that's what happens.
You just described Hollywood, man. But
Right.
seriously,
Well-
you wrote this piece about your father when you had the Cigar Report, and you talked about his car and how it reminded you of a sail fin. And
yeah, that's actually I can't even believe you remember that. That is actually the introduction, the foreword. So funny that you remember that. That is the foreword to the very first cigar book I ever worked on, and that was the Cigar Handbook. It was actually a British publication. Can't remember the author's name, funny enough. It's been a long while. And the publisher, there was a British publisher and there was an American publisher. And the American publisher came to me. First they said they wanted me to write a book. I'm like, okay. Then they're like, we don't want you to write a book for money, but we want you to write a foreword for free. Of course.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Got nothing better to do.
Who doesn't choose praise over pay every day of the week? Oh, that would be not me. Anyway, so I took the gig. It was cool. And they put it in both editions of the book, and that was nice as well. Never got a note from the author. Never met him. Never sent me a thank you note. Never had any communication. So
class act, huh?
That is actually in and Barnes and Noble. That was the other thing. It was when Barnes and Noble had their own imprint. And they were actually the publisher of that book here in the States.
Well, the reason that I mentioned it is because we had become chummy, and before that, I knew of the persona of Aaron Sigmund, and it's funny because
It's disappointing, isn't it?
Not at all. I had posted something. No, because this is going to fold over into this next bit of our convo, which was
it's a long wind-up, I'll be honest.
I had posted something similar on my Instagram about the old ad for Tony Borhani, who you intimately know. And it was the
Baba,
you are beautiful.
This is
Baba.
under copyright, Baba. You cannot use.
You
this
cannot
without my
use
permission.
this music. I had one of my people make this music. It's fine. It's license free. It's okay. The beautiful silhouette of the woman and the beautiful Bahia cigar, right?
Yes.
And I'd recently posted that on my Instagram, and it brought me back to.
From the I just want to be clear because I didn't see Instagram today. From the Bahia Man ad campaign where there's always a girl and a hand in the foreground.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, I'm tracking.
Exactly.
I'm good.
But before that, there was Smoke Magazine, that was your baby, alongside of the Lockwoods before you gave them the proverbial computer throw. And that was the only publication that I had ever see compete on the level of Cigar Aficionado.
Well, yeah, and I guess in a lot of ways, I've said it before. It was Hertz to Avis or Cadillac to Lincoln. I guess that's closer, probably. But whatever. A really quick point on we were talking about the El Sig cigar.
Yeah, babe.
Prive Reserva.
Oh.
No for sale. The very first El Sig cigar was made by Tony. It was made by Tony.
Don Douglas.
Don Douglas.
Who, God rest his soul.
Is he gone?
I don't know. I mean, he's certainly gone from the cigar business.
Well, okay.
Sammy is
So
burying
that just
people
happened.
by the week. Every week.
I took him out. Ooh, Schwarzwald.
Holy
Oh.
shit. I'm like, nobody tells me
Do
anything.
I send a cake?
Yes. So the original El Cigs were made at Tabacalera Tambor, San Jose in Costa Rica. Tony blended it, and Don Douglas made it. Yeah.
So for as many, look, Playboy Book of Cigars, the Impossible Collection of Cigars, which we just saw a moment ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the Humidor, absolutely stellar, but more impressive than even the box is the book. And I know that this was a real passion project for you.
This was.
And I mean, the whole category, right, is really a passion project for you. I know that you love cigars. It's in your blood at this point.
This will eventually become a suppository. That's how much I want to.
Don Douglas is gone, and we're talking about suppositories.
Is gone, exactly. And Hitler. it's really it's the lockdown show is it's so multifaceted. It's just
it certainly is.
Talking about growing organically, right?
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't even know where to start. I think there was a question
Aaron,
somewhere
where do
there.
you find yourself? How do you find yourself coming back into the fold of the cigar
Yeah,
business?
that's actually a really good. That's the first smart thing you've said all interview.
I mean, once is good for me.
it's what your wife told me the other night, but I insisted on two.
Oh, Virginia. Melissa's not going to be happy about that.
No, well, she's not going to watch this show. Anyway, so I had taken a break from cigars. I did the cigar report, and then I worked for the Nat Sherman organization, which was an interesting experience. But it was it was and remains such a New York institution. It's changed a little over the years since the family sold it, but it's still fantastic. And, you know, I just kind of taken a break from cigars, not as a cigar smoker and not as a kind of a champion and a brand, I guess a cigar ambassador or anything like that. So it's been part of my lifestyle for a very, very, very long time, decades. Actually, this year, I was talking to Edward Sahakian and we figured out it's 35 years this year that I've been a dedicated cigar smoker. So that's a good long time. So, but, you know, from the industry itself, I took a break, I guess for about 10 years, maybe 9. And I'd done a series of books for Azuline Paris, which is a fancy book publisher, and on watches. And the owner of that company, or the co-founder of that company, Prosper Azuline, and is also a big cigar guy. And I went to him after I finished the Bulova book, and I said, "Hey, I would like to do the Impossible collection of cigars because there are. I don't know if you mentioned this in the segment before because I'm not watching the show either. I kid, but true. Anyway, so I went to him after the Bulova book, and there are many other Impossible collections. There's the Impossible collection of watches, which was written by Nick Falks, who's another great cigar enthusiast, a cigar legend.
Wine.
There's the Impossible collection of what? Wine.
Yeah.
American wine, watches, decor, motorcycles, automobiles, and on it goes. And he's like, "Oh, Aaron, you know, I had this idea many, many times, but I don't have the right person. You know, Nicole already did the watch book, and you can only do one Impossible collection. Oh, really? It is not that impossible, eh?" So that was it. Like 2 days later, I had a contract. And I've said this before in other interviews, and I'll say it until people stop asking me about it, which is really getting annoying. You know, really, this book is my love letter to the cigar industry and a hobby and a profession that has given me so much throughout this life. And it's just a completely unique book. I mean, it's really an object of art as much as it is a book, truly.
Absolutely.
When you talk about, and I'm not intimately familiar with the terminology. You said hand tipped, and there was a certain portion of this book that was gold. And I know that the Impossible collections have been beautiful before, but I really, really love what you guys did with this book. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's $1,000 book.
So, yeah, no, it's the Humidor edition is more than twice that. So first thing we did is we looked at the wine book, and the wine labels in there are hand tipped in as well. And so when Prosper and I and the creative director and everyone were kind of brainstorming, Prosper says, "I want to put every cigar band in there hand applied." And I said, you know, it's not like the wine labels. Some cigars have up to 3 bands, and we have to get permission, and, you know, manufacturers have to give us, and, you know, we're going to do a couple thousand copies of this, and, you know, we need like 500,000 bands. He's like, "No, this is no problem." And he walked away from the meeting. And that's a true story. So first of all, every single cigar band in there is hand applied, hand tipped in. There are also photos in there that are also hand tipped in. The pages in there that are gold color, that's not gold color. That is 24 karat gold ink. So it's ink with real gold in it. In many ways, this book, the production, one of the reasons this is also a love letter, and it probably will not be quite the same for any other Impossible. The production costs of this particular version, and then the box itself. I know you guys saw the Humidor edition, but the standard edition comes in a wood crate box that looks exactly like a cigar box, and even the labels are sealed on there. You have to cut the labels to open it. It's an experience. It's not just a book. It's an experience.
And I mean, right, if you're thinking about a gift, right, this is the ultimate gift for someone who's a true cigar lover.
I think it's a gift for anybody. I mean, Sig, the book is literally an art piece.
It absolutely is.
No, I appreciate that. You guys can't see it, but right by my on the bottom of my desk, I have the Impossible collection of design and watches. So I have Nick's book and somebody else's, as well as my own. There are people who aren't necessarily into the individual subjects that just collect the Impossible collections of.
Yeah.
They only make like 1 or 2 a year. I think one year they made 3, but most years they make between 0 and 2. I don't think they're. No, they came out with whiskey. Whiskey is coming out this year.
Very cool.
So that'll be Sam. That's like right up your alley.
Right up my
Not
alley.
with the direct you're drinking today, but normally.
No.
No, I know. I see. You got the good stuff. You got.
yeah.
Oh, you got the vino today.
Yeah, I've got a little vino
So who's
today.
rocking the?
Clay's
the
got a
Hudson?
cocktail. Clay's doing a little
Now,
Hudson
what are you
bourbon.
drinking
You're
there,
doing
baby?
a Hudson bourbon, right?
Hudson bourbon, Bubba.
I love the Hudson. Have you ever visited? It's right up
I haven't.
in the Hudson.
Tuttletown, New York, right?
It's about 4. Yeah, it's about 4 hours. Maybe it's not that far. Maybe it's like 2.5 hours out of the city, something like that. It's well worth the trip.
So,
it's
Siggy,
fun.
we're like-minded cats. You and Clay and I. We love to eat. We love to drink. We love to smoke. We love to travel. And where do you continue to find your passion in all the subject matter that you're writing on?
Wow, that's actually 2 good questions. Good for you, Sam. I didn't think you had it in you personally.
Neither did Clay.
and
Don't
I-
worry about it.
I was about to say Clay and I owe Clay a buck now. It's,
Two bot.
well, I don't know. I think it's a lifelong passion, Sam. I don't know. Here's the thing. I can teach you, well, not you, but probably Clay.
Yeah.
I can teach Clay how to be a better writer. I can teach somebody who already, but I can't instill
Oh, boy.
passion in you. I can instill passion. Yeah, I can't make Sam a better writer. I've tried.
No, that's why I hire.
But passion. I mean, how do you? Man, you're either a lover or a fighter. I don't know. I've always loved it. It's always held my interest. My mother was a well-dressed woman, and she had some nice pieces and nice jewelry and whatnot. And I don't know. I suppose it's how you grow up, what personal interests are. I don't know. It's there's no wellspring. There's no single inspiration. It's just kind of who I am at this juncture. Even though casually attired today.
Here's what I would say to anybody that's watching the show or who's rewatching this show right now. Throughout the years, I've worked with a lot of writers, and not to blow smoke, proverbially up your ass. But
Well, I already said it's
one of
gonna be
the
a
finest
suppository, so.
writers, one of the finest writers that I have ever worked with and around is you, my friend.
That's sweet.
What you do with words, how you write about fashion, travel, leisure, and just luxury lifestyle goods in general. Whether it's watches, whether it's what I refer to as the most approachable luxury lifestyle good in the world, which is a premium cigar.
Absolutely.
You nail it every time, and we are.
Well, that's very kind.
We're really very blessed to have you on the show with us today. We thank you for your time, and we
thank
love you.
you.
Brother.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah,
Sig.
no.
Honor.
It
Yeah,
really is.
no. Doing it the second time is really exciting.
Oh,
Well,
baby,
what are
we
you
keep it
gonna do? You
fresh.
can't control the weather.
Last
Yeah,
time
I
we did it, the guy
understand.
behind you wasn't shot.
Clay, good for you, man. You're hitting them out of the park today.
Oh, yeah.
It's great to see you guys.
Yeah,
have a great rest of the summer. And
Thank you,
by
sir.
the way, which one of the is that the 4-grain? Which one of the Hudsons is that?
The 4-grain.
No,
Yeah.
No? I don't think that's the 4-grain. I think that's the single malt. I can't really see it from what I'm looking at. But
All
we've
right.
got them all here. We have the 4-grain. We have the single malt. We have the baby bourbon. We didn't.
Baby bourbon's great. I think
That's
the
my
baby bourbon
favorite.
is my favorite. Yeah,
That's my favorite. And I
that's
don't
a good
drink a
one.
lot of sugar water.
No, as you know, I don't at all anymore. So but I remember.
Well, Siggy, thank you
guys
very
have
much
a
for
wonderful
joining us.
day.
Thank you,
We
Sig.
love you, brother.
Pleasure. Or evening. Are we pretending it's evening?
No, it's evening.
It's evening. Where
Right.
we are.
It's as
Well,
dark,
but
as
we're in
dark as your
different time
soul
zones.
outside.
Right. Ooh. Damn, that is dark. You guys be good. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, brother. Be well.
Bye.
We'll
Take
see
care.
ya. Well, you know what? It's always a pleasure to be joined with somebody who's been as successful as Aaron Sigmund has been,
Absolutely,
in his own right in all these categories. And I mean, he's taught me so much over the years. Anytime I've been to any sort of an event that's a formal event, semi-formal event, I always call Sig and I say, "Hey, man, what are the rules for this?"
Yeah,
and he always has the answer. Well, is it inside? Is it outside? Blah 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 blah. And when we talk about somebody who's truly passionate about his craft, Clay. I mean, I've never encountered anybody who's so passionate about whether it's watches, whether it's men's fashion, whether it's spirits, whether it's wine.
Called it's bon vivant.
Bon vivant.
Oh, very nice.
But that brings us to our next subject,
What's
which
that?
is something that you're very passionate about.
Yeah. No.
Which is film and television.
Sure, film and television definitely part of my life, and having grown up in a family that was in the business. Definitely have a connection to movies and television and the arts, and it's something that's just as like Sigmund said before, it's something just in me. I grew up with it, so it becomes part of your soul.
Well, for me, right? I mean, I grew up and around the premium cigar, not the premium cigar, the hospitality industry.
Yeah,
with my father, and that's why I'm such a foodie. But with that being said, truly passionate, and I'm more passionate about film and television than I ever have been before because of you and because of what you've exposed to me.
Well, listen, movies and television and the arts in general about escapism. So you're watching, you're reading, and you're going to a different place and learning something different, even if it's a silly comedy, for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And that couple of hours is yours and the one you're with. Yalla. And that's just that's part of the enjoyment of it.
Yeah, it transports you.
Ooh, I'll transport you.
Promises.
But we're going to transport ourselves to one of my favorite movies.
Let's check it out, man.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Get away with it, Cody.
Cody, huh? You got a good memory for names. Too good. How do you like that, boys? A copper. And I was going to split 50-50 with a copper. Now tell me you're glad to see me. Only stay floating.
All I wanted was for you to come back. That's the truth. I love you, Cody. I love you. I look good in a mink coat, honey.
Mm-hmm. You look good in a shower curtain.
It was Big Ed. He told me to do it. You wouldn't kill me in cold blood, would you?
Now let you warm up a little.
Let him have it.
Oh, no. And lose our ace in the hole, he's gonna walk us out of here. Ain't you, copper?
Ed.
Still got nerves?
So there's the clip.
There
cool
it is,
movie.
baby.
So a great movie to smoke cigars to, have a nice meal, a little
Fantastic.
Italian, whatever you like.
Little Italian.
Oh, a little Italian.
Over here, over there, it's the guy.
but that White Heat's quite a movie.
Incredible movie. And you know what, Clay? We've got something really special for our guests coming up next.
One of our favorite segments.
One of our favorite
It's become one of our favorite segments on the Cigar Lockdown.
Absolutely.
So why don't we take a quick peek?
Let's check it out.
Yalla.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's prize pool time.
It's prize pool time. It's prize pool time. I hope you're ready for it. Get your tickets ready. Get your tickets ready.
Get your tickets ready.
Cause Lucky Luca gonna help you now.
Get your prize pool tickets ready.
Lucky Luca.
Lucky Luca.
Bro, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Well, we're supposed to have fun here at the Lockdown.
That's right.
But what's the most fun here at the Lockdown?
Well, it's the moment that everybody has been waiting for.
What is that, Sammy?
Well, here's the moment you've all been waiting for.
Oh, look at all those beautiful green tickets.
We know that we have already raffled off over $5,000 in prizes. And you know what? Clay and I talked to Bill and to Matt, and we decided to talk to Rocky, to talk to Bappert, and we're going to do it again right here, right now. And ladies, get ready because we're bringing back your favorite stunt character, Lucky Luca.
Ooh.
Without further ado, let's bring him back. Another $5,000 in prizes coming up
baby.
right now, baby. Lucky Luca, come on the set, baby. Oh, there he is.
Oh, Lucky Luca, Lucky Luca.
Baby, I know you're all disappointed that he is wearing his shirt.
Yeah, we had a request for you not to wear a shirt from one of the lady viewers.
I heard about that. I guess we could make that happen maybe on a future episode.
Maybe,
or
Lucky
something.
Luca.
Lucky Luca.
Well, let's get right to it.
Let's
Let's
get
get
in
to
there.
it. All right,
Lucky
let me read down the
Luca.
prizes. We have raffling off tonight a La Polina 1930s retro glass humidor, and some special prizes will come with that. A trip to the Honduras factory of Rocky Patel, no airfare included. A Bulova watch, courtesy of Michael Benevente and the fine folks of Bulova. 4 gift cards from Oliva Cigar Company, valued at $200 each. Those gift cards can be used at the retailer you purchase your lockdown pack from towards a lovely Oliva product. You can
That's
throw
right.
a little La Polina in there, too.
That's
We have 2 Room 101 beaded bracelets. Yalla.
Yalla.
And we have a La Polina ashtray with mystery gift added. There's 4 of those.
Mystery.
Mystery gift, like your career mystery.
It's very mysterious.
Oh, yalla. And we have 4 Rocky Patel 100-count wood humidors.
Ooh, they're wooden.
And a bunch of fun swag also. So we'll add those in.
I love
Lucky
it.
Luca. Let's go first. Let's pick
Let's
out
get in there, baby. Mix 'em
4
up
of the
deep.
Rocky Patel 100-count humidors. Yalla, let's go. Get in there, Lucky Luca.
Lucky Luca, you're going to have to get deep in there and mix
deep
those
in
up,
there,
bro.
get in the loins,
I put
get
that
in the
microphone
back.
down for just a second, Lucky Luca. There you go. Let them
Get
all
in
hear
the bottom.
the
Get in
action.
the bottom. There's
Ooh.
40,000 raffle tickets in there right now,
Ooh,
ladies
just
and
like
gentlemen.
your childhood, Lucky Luca.
Oh, Lucky Luca.
It's the only-
Oh, get in there. Get
The only
deep.
pool we could afford was the
All
kiddie
right.
pool.
Let's go. What's the first number there?
First winner is 15609.
15609.
That is for one of the Rocky Patel 100-count of wood humidors. There's 3 more going. Let's go, Lucky Luca. Get deep.
Right. Next winner is number 32897.
32897.
Oh, baby. Let's go, Lucky Luca. Get deep in this one. I want you deep in there.
Go deep in
Deep like you were in
there.
8th
Ooh,
grade.
I haven't.
and,
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Get way down in
Ooh,
there.
baby.
Oh, pull one right out.
Oh, I'm trying to get to the bottom.
Oh,
Don't worry,
Deep.
Meredith.
Don't worry.
He's
you're
coming home tonight.
You're on the show. You're at the bottom, all right.
All right, baby. Number 33602.
33602. One more Rocky Patel humidor. Let's go, Lucky Luca. Oh, look at him. Sexier than sexy can be.
Oh, my God.
I guess. I don't know. I've been drinking all night.
I like it. Get in there, boy.
Let's go. One more Rocky
Ooh, he's
Patel
deep in the
humidor.
line. Look at him
Deep
go. He's
in.
going
Let's go.
deep.
Number 2209.
2209. All right, moving right along, ladies and gentlemen. We have the 4 La Polina ashtrays plus mystery gift added. Those will arrive with a mystery gift like you've never seen.
Mystery gift.
The mystery
for
of the
you.
ages. How many thousands of dollars in prizes we got here, Sammy?
Over $5,000 in
Oh,
fine
my
prizes.
goodness. That is a lot of prize. Lucky Luca, what do we got?
Winner is number 34274.
34274.
All right, we got 3 more of the La Polina ashtrays with mystery gift added. You love. Very nice. Very special mystery gift.
Lucky Luke is going to fill
Pick
up your
2 out,
gift
Luca. Get
bucket.
2 out, Lucky Luca.
Here come 2.
Here come 2. Let's go.
Number 20777.
20777.
That's a good number.
That is a very nice number. This is my favorite airplane.
Best.
777. Yalla.
Number 16409.
16409.
All right, 1 more of the La Polina ashtray.
Everybody
and
get
mystery
your
gift.
tickets ready. Get your tickets ready. Remember, all tickets are valid right now.
Right now, and for 1 month, you go on cigarlockdown.com in 48 hours to claim your prize.
That's right, baby.
Let's go, Lucky Luca.
Winning number is 10862.
10862. That's a fine number.
A lot of
It is
fine
a nice
numbers
number.
going
All
on
right,
here this
we have 2 Room 101 beaded bracelets.
Very special beads.
Ooh, Matty Booth.
Getting the sides,
Matty
Lucky. Look at the
Booth.
sides over there.
Handcrafted in L.A.
Oh, handcrafted in Los Angeles, my hometown.
Los Angeles.
Oh, very nice.
Dun-dun.
Oh, Matty Booth wins. Number 5358.
5358.
All right, 1 more, Lucky Luca.
Ooh. These beaded bracelets, by the way, are awesome.
They are fantastic from Room 101 Brands, Mr. Matt Booth.
Met Booth, Room 101.
Winning number 3645.
3645.
45.
All right, moving right along. In the fine prize pool drawing, we have 4 gift cards from Oliva Cigar, $200 value per gift card. Again, you can use those at the retail.
$200 value per gift card.
Per gift card.
So I want everybody to hear that again. $200 per gift card from our good friend Corey Bappert from Oliva Cigar Company.
Again, those can be used at the retailer that you purchased your lockdown pack at.
Yes.
Towards La Polina,
Yes.
Oliva, Rocky Patel, and Room 101 Products.
Support brick and mortar.
Support
Yes.
brick and mortar, our friends and family. Let's go, Lucky Luca. Pull 4. Pull 4 out. You pulled 4 out before in your life.
Once or twice.
Oh, you
Pulled it out. He put it in.
That's an
Tonight
8.
he's pulling it all
Let's
out.
go.
Come on, Lucky Luca.
He's picking
Pull
through
him
that
out.
like a monkey.
Look at
picks
him
through
hit
its
those
spoon.
angles.
Very picky.
All right, let's go.
Oh, this one's got a name on it.
Oh.
Sean B.
Sean B. What's the number?
4776.
4776.
Got it.
There you
Moving
go,
right
Sean
along.
B.
What do we got next, Lucky Luca?
Number 33151.
33151.
33151 on the Oliva $200 gift card. That's a nice gift, Sammy.
It's a freaking great gift.
$200 in cigars.
Absolutely.
Ooh, baby, I'll smoke it up.
Yeah, baby.
Next number is 9555.
9555. Touched by the grace of Lucky Luca.
The number on the wall, 9555. And 1 more of the Oliva $200 gift cards, Lucky Luca.
Last one.
Number 30199.
30199. You are the last winner of the $200 Oliva gift card.
All right, here's a great gift, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. A Bulova watch, courtesy of our fine friends at Bulova, Michael Benevente. Ooh, which watch is that, Sammy?
I'm wearing the Bulova Sutton. I don't know what he's going to send,
get
but I'm sure
deep
it's
for
going to
this
be
one.
fantastic.
You get really deep this time, Luke.
Luke hasn't been this deep since 1980, the year of his birth.
Ooh, came out sideways. Mom's still angry.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
Tickets going everywhere.
Grab a ticket, Lucky Luca.
Get in that prize pool, Lucky Luca.
Get down on your knees, Lucky Luca. You crazy.
He's just like back at the Angus barn, boy.
The no look.
Let's
No
go.
look, no look.
All right, Bulova watch.
Winning number 15310.
15310. Winner of the Bulova watch.
That is a lovely gift. All right, we have
great gift.
a
Beautiful piece.
factory trip for 2 to Honduras, the Rocky Patel factory.
No airfare included.
You cannot fly, but you can drive.
You take a boat.
Take a boat. Value of this is $3,000. Trip for two. An amazing
$3,000 value.
Thank you.
If you haven't been on one of these blending trips, you haven't been on one of these factory tours, it will change your life and your appreciation for cigars.
So thank you to Rocky, Nish,
Thank you,
and
Rocky,
Nimish.
Nish, Nimi.
Let's go. Here we go.
Winner of this beautiful prize, number 4687.
4687. You're a winner!
Oh, the Rocky Patel trip to Honduras. No airfare included. All right. And one of the fine prizes. La Polina made these amazing retro 1930 glass humidors.
Yes.
We had those in the 1930s as we
Yeah.
were over 100 years old. So this is one of these beautiful retro glass humidors.
Clay, this glass humidor has a double silicone seal. It is perfect
It's
for
like your
desk.
mouth.
You know what? Most wives won't let their husbands have a humidor. You can put this thing anywhere. It's absolutely beautiful. Clear glass, showcases your prized possessions, your cigars. Phenomenal.
So the winner of that is
number 16362.
16362.
All right, and that is the prize pool, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we do have some additional swag and gift cards. We'll draw those tickets and put them up on the website.
We will.
Just for fun and giggles. And listen, everybody, the Lockdown 2, an amazing time we've had.
It's Lockdown 2.1.
2.1. We
That's
thank
right, baby.
everybody for supporting Brick and Mortar,
Thank you all.
for supporting La Polina Cigars, Rocky Patel Cigar Company, Oliva Cigar Company, and Room 101 Brands. This has been an amazing time.
Thank you to Angelo Tsaroukas, funny SOB. We love you, Angelo. We love you, Michael Benevente and Bill Bolivar and Citizen Watch Group. And, of course, Aaron Sigmund. Thank you very much. Everybody stay strong out there, especially our brick and mortar partners. We know that things are kind of wacky right now. The numbers keep going up. They're coming down. We don't know what to believe. Here's what we can tell you. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. And thank you so much for joining us here on the CigarLockdown.com.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you on the next Lockdown. Coming soon.
We'll see you soon. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Peace.
Here I go, back to my chores again, saddling up these horses that I'm going to be riding. Alright, these are heavy saddles, but they're nice. Welcome to Montana.